But guys, I just want to making sure that I'm live and everything is working fine sound-wise. Please let me know there in the comments if you can't hear me. But anyway, welcome everybody to the Overthinking Football Show. My name is George Mokwena. I'm your host, and this, of course, is a show where we love South African football and we love African football. And of course, the local league takes preference every single time, Silada, guys. So welcome to those who join me. The show is on every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. That is when you'll find me here, and we can have a conversation about whatever it is that we're going to be speaking about. Now, today, I'm gonna do preview, but then I also want to do conversations around how we feel about our football right now and our teams right now and where our teams are sitting. That's what I want to speak about today. So please join me in the debate format of the show. So we're going to have debates today. The debates are going to be down to what I'm going to put on the screens, and we're going to debate each topic. So Kone also Kone Mbogazi, Kone Chiefs, Kone Kukune, and Kone Police as we go along. So please feel free to jump in and talk to me, because this is a very interactive show. It's interactive because if you press the multi-guest button, if you're watching on TikTok and you're following the account at the bottom of the screen, blue figure hugging a pink figure, you press it, I let you in. We have a conversation about whatever it is that we're speaking about. Tonight's format is going to include 5 topics and 4 people are going to get 20 minutes. So 4 people are going to get 5 minutes each panel to speak about whatever it is. So I want to hear your thoughts about whatever it is I'm going to put here on the screen. Starting off, of course, with Caruso. Should Caruso go, or should I rephrase it? Does Caruso still have time? So please jump in and feel free to jump in and tell me how you guys are feeling. We're going to have a bit of a debate show today, man. And then if we do have time towards the end of the show, I'll open it up for whatever you guys want to come in and speak about. But we're going to have the 5 topics as they come up. Let me just make sure that multi-guest sebenza, because hey, technology has been kicking me these past few weeks. Yes, Muleda, I can see the comments. Evan. There we go. Okay, there we go. Guys, I'm opening it up. First topic is going to be Caruso. Must Caruso go? Is it his time to go? Should he be given time? Should he be given the same leeway as Mangoba was? And I'm going to start off with Bongs. Bongs, champ, welcome.
Salute, my champ.
Bongs, Kietaba, I'm going to give you 5 minutes. Do you think Caruso must go? Do you agree or disagree?
No, I disagree. Caruso should stay. He's doing a great job letting Sundowns lose a few games and draw. We need those type of things. It happens to other teams that they have to lose, but they can't accept losing all the time. They always want to win. Sometimes we have to lose. So they must accept Caruso that he's going to give them a free way to losing and a free way to some of the teams winning the league.
So do you
I
agree?
want him to stay for games.
So are we waiting for Sundowns to fall? What I'm hearing here is that you are waiting for Sundowns to fall, and they must fall on their own accord, and they must do us all a favor.
Exactly. I want them to fall. Everyone wants them to fall. Who doesn't want Sundowns to fall? We are sick and tired of seeing Sundowns always winning the league. We want a new winner, even if it's not Kaizer Chiefs. It can be Orlando Pirates, it can be Skukut. As long as it's not Mamelodi Sundowns. Sundowns must fall.
Okay, Bong, so when we speak about Sundowns, what do you think is stopping Caruso? Where's Caruso? That's wrong, Moleko Sundowns.
Coming up with new ideas and forgetting what the culture of Sundowns is.
Marakiko, shouldn't you be allowed to do that?
But every team has a culture. Just like Kaizer Chiefs, you've been saying, it has a culture, and you've been saying that Nabi doesn't follow the culture of Kaizer Chiefs on how to get the players playing together. Each and every team has a culture. Even Wadu, when he came to Pirates, you all said that they all said that they wanted the old players, not these new players that were not giving results. And the old players came back, and right now they are winning. They are not stopping now. They are winning and winning and winning and winning. So Sundowns should go back to their culture and stop trying something new that doesn't work.
So this is interesting. Where then do you put technical director Fleming Beg? Because surely when the club was hiring this man, they should have known what type of football he wants to play, what type of control he will get, and that they will want to change structure. Shouldn't management be held accountable here?
Yeah, management should be held accountable for hiring Fleming Beg because he's messing up things for Sundowns. He should let the coach do his own job and stop interfering in the coach's jobs. Look at right now, if he had given Mangoba some time with the team, maybe Sundowns was not going to be in this state where we say Cardoso must stay or go.
Can Sundowns still win the league? If they were to let Cardoso go, would it be a situation like last season where Cardoso came in and started winning?
Only if they get the right person, if they are to fire Cardoso, they'll still win the league. But with the current squad they have, I do believe they can win the league again.
Do you trust Sundowns to make the right decision? Pelasina Koyapia Pitso now. It's a new Sundowns.
I don't trust Sundowns because they are influenced more by Fleming Beg, who wants to have his own agenda in the team. So I don't trust Fleming Beg at all. He's the poison in Sundowns losing streak right now.
Okay, if for the last minute, if Bansa Fleming Beg by it saying after.
They should restructure and get a new sporting director who will follow the culture of Mamelodi Sundowns and what Sundowns really want as a club.
Okay. For time, I'm going to jump in. Let me bring in Coach Agent. Coach Agent, welcome to the show. How are you?
How are you, my brother? I'm good, and I hope everyone is fine.
Kietava, Cardoso must go. Do you agree or disagree?
I think Cardoso must resign, not go. I think he must resign himself.
Why?
I feel like the guy does not get a support from the players. I feel like he does not get the support from the fans. You understand? I think the only person that is supporting him at this moment might be management. So
Wow.
Oti, if you are a coach and you feel like you are not appreciated by the fans and by the players, by telling them that, guys, you know what, I don't feel like you guys want to play for me, so I might as well just leave and go and find other endeavors somewhere, and you are leaving them in good faith, not that you are fighting with them. You are just showing them that if that's how you operate, whenever there's a new coach from somewhere that maybe you feel like you cannot relate to, then you don't show up for them. Then I don't think I will want to work in that environment. And should also be an advice to the fans that, the fans, if you don't support me, every chance you get to crucify me, you game up against me, you are creating this kind of environment for me. Maybe I can go where my qualification and my effort will be appreciated, and it wouldn't be a bad thing.
Okay, well, you bring up something interesting. Okay, let me ask you a question. Mangoba and Cardoso have a similar situation where they come into a season, they don't have time to change players, sign players, release players. Do you, one, believe that Cardoso, if he was given time to sign players or he was given support and it wasn't for the World Cup stuff, he would have done better? And then number two, should he be allowed to get rid of the seniors, bomokwena bana, bomudao bana, and build his own team?
No, you know what, Otine, I'm also a coach for myself. Now, when you get to a team, you start by asking, who are the senior players here? If you don't know them. And then if you know them, obviously, you'll call them and say, guys, maybe there are 4 or 5. You call them and say, guys, you know what? I'm going to need your support in pushing and captaining this ship. We understand. I'm going to need you to guide and lead these young ones so that they know that even if I'm not here, you understand, then you guys can lead them in the field and off the field. But at the moment, honestly speaking, we can I can see that from a distance. That if you look at the senior players, they are not interested in playing like the way they played for Rulani Mokwena back in those days. I remember Motaung even played when he was injured that time because Rulani Mokwena
Babongwala
apparently
the
they know.
note.
Yes, they know. I understand. So I feel like if you don't get the support from senior players, I'm telling you, it's gonna be difficult because now it means you have to get rid of them, and you cannot afford to get rid of them, and they have more influence on the younger ones. You understand? Now you have a problem where everyone does his own thing. I saw when they were playing against Eros two few days ago, that ball that the Mokwena missed when he cut inside. That one, it was a deliberate miss. I saw it myself. That one, I saw it with my own eyes. I'm like, this one is missing deliberately. Here, I can see him. How do you miss from that, Mokwena? When have you ever missed from there? Even the reaction after the miss, it was just like, I'm like, okay, now I see.
So if I'm understanding what you're saying, Rulani got the chance to bring in Bomukwena Bomudao, bring them onto his side, make them his players. Will a Sundowns coach ever get that experience again to be able to do that, or that leeway?
Sundowns, they don't need to sign any players. So they already have quality players. So what are you signing there? You just need the players to tell them that, guys, I need you to be on board. And I know why there's this kind of conflict of interest. Is because how these coaches from abroad they work and how our black coaches work is kind of different. These ones, they are more like managers. You understand? And our South African coaches are leaders. You understand? So that's where there's a difference between us and them. If I'm a South African coach, Motaung can tell me that I won't come to practice for the next 2 days because my grandmother is not feeling well. I can say, okay, it's fine. You don't even have to fill in the leave form. You understand? But these foreign coaches, I've even had with our national team coach. You understand? He just that he's surviving because he's a national team coach. If he was coaching the PSL with that kind of management, because you remember South African black people don't want to be managed, they want to be led. You understand? So I think he needs to, there's a thin line in there. But my biggest worry is the technical team there, like Compera and others. I don't know what are they doing there, because they are the ones who supposed to tell him that, you know what, this is how our South African players in general, this is how black people want to be controlled. They want to be led, not managed. They don't want to fill in a form because they were late. They don't want to be told that because you did not show up, then you won't play. They don't want to. Black people don't want to be told about the club policy. They want to us to work together. The day I'm not there, you cover for me. The day you are not there, I cover for you. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Just try to go and observe it. I did try to observe it to a certain extent. I feel like it might go to that direction, even though I'm not 100% sure.
For time, coach, this is going to be an interesting topic I'm going to bring up next week. Thank you for that, coach. I want to go to Wesley. Wesley, welcome to the show. How are you?
Brauti, how's it that?
Man, kemonate man. Wes, kana kaita bengena man. Do you agree or disagree that Caruso must go?
Maybe let's start here, Brauti. You know, a successful institution is that which the manager gets along with its employees.
Yeah.
You know, I feel Cardoso being there or not there is not really a case of these problems coming whether the team is winning or not. I just think whether it was any other coach, if a coach loses the dressing room, the locker room, if he loses these players, I feel like this coach is arrogant to the players, you know. So remember, some institution you would find managers that would always want to be the last one. The abafunu boniswa, in other words. I feel like these coaches like that. And when you are like that, it's easy for the players to get rid of you without saying anything. It's just to not give you what you want in the pitch, which I feel like this is what Sundowns is doing. Last week, during the week, the last game that Sundowns played, I don't care whether the pitch was wet or whatever the case may be. I felt like Sundowns, if they wanted to win the game, they would have won the game. You know, I don't think Sundowns is losing or drawing because the other team is stronger or displaying good tactics on the day. Or no, I just don't. I just think the players, they don't want this coach. So it is not really whether Cardoso must stay. We know Flemingbeck can keep Cardoso for the next coming 2 seasons if he wants. You know, the only reason that will get rid of Cardoso is these players playing on the field. If they don't want to play for him,
do you think that player power has gotten out of hand at Sundowns? Because you could say that the same thing happened to Mangoba. Cardoso is also going down that same thing. Is player power a problem at Sundowns for you? And then number 2, when do you get rid of senior players? Wes, are you with me?
Mr. OT, I don't know whether my network is playing with me, but on those questions, I would clearly state that when it came to Rulani and Mangoba, I'm with you. Am I audible?
Yeah, got you.
All right. So I was saying it's 2 different cases with Cardoso compared to Mangoba and Rulani. Rulani and Mangoba were gotten rid. They were kicked out of the team because of Flemingbeck. It's a different story. Flemingbeck didn't want them. We can state many reasons why we feel like Flemingbeck didn't want them, and then we can still get away with it. But with this Cardoso, as long as a Flemingbeck feels like he needs to be there, he will be there until the players decides that we do not want him here. And this is the same thing that I'm saying. And the only way they can get rid of him is not playing for him. You get me, OT? So, in case Mangoba Norulani is the same thing. But when you bring in Cardoso now, it's the different thing. It's a completely different thing. You know?
The reason
is for Flemingbeck.
The reason I'm asking is Urulani was allowed to get rid of Abochali. You could argue you could bench Abo Onyango. He could move some of the elder players, Bohlompo Kekana. He could move people out of the squad in order to create this thing, Yabo Debza, Yabo Mudawu, Yabo Williams, where they're his boys. Do you think that the next coach needs to create that thing where he goes, maybe Mokwena, I don't want you to be my boy. I'm gonna create my own boys now.
Do you know how that was easy for Urulani OT? I think it's that thinking yaga Pitso to say, let me do whatever that I want to do, judge me on the results. You know, which I don't think Cardoso has. Cardoso is not judged on the results when it comes to Flemingbeck or the management. But Urulani and that Pitso guy, they came to Sundowns and say, give me everything that I want, then I will give you the results. If I don't, then you can kick me out. So they had already drawn a line for themselves to say, if I don't deliver, then you can kick me out. But I don't think this guy has that. Remember, there's a time where we said to ourselves as fans that if he doesn't take the CAF Cup, then he's going to go, but because that is his assignment. That is when you see against the OT, that was not his assignment. As long as Fleming says, he's going to be there. The only people that will get rid of them is the players, which I think at the moment they are not playing for him.
For time, I'm going to have to jump in. Let me go to Alejandro. Guys, Alejandro was one of the first people to listen to this show. Maragase, Alejandro, we pitile kai.
Hey, my brother, when I request my brother, you don't look at me, my brother. It's like you found a new panel, my brother. I'm even jealous, man.
Alejandro, we can't kite man. Cardoso must go to you. Agree or disagree?
My brother, Sundowns, it's decapitating. Rulani once said that empires, they don't fall, they decapitate bit by bit. So this is my 2 cents. I hope I'm right, but I'm just insinuating what might be going on. I believe that Rulani was doing well with Sundowns, bruh. like, truth be told, he was doing well. He was dominating, winning the league very much convincingly. One understand, we would know we knew Rulani was one of the best coaches Sundowns had the best coaches Sundowns ever hired, right? Pitso Mosimane vouched for him. Even when he went to Pirates, when he had a little bit of fallout with Pitso, he went to Pirates to build himself something. He came back. Pitso took him back because he saw him as the perfect replacement for the system that he had built for Sundowns, right? I believe that the mindset of Mamelodi Sundowns, people maybe might argue with me, but I believe that it started with the guy in charge, not Flameback. Angiti Motsepe handed over control to his boy Klopi Motsepe. I'm not Klopi Motsepe. So I believe that Klopi sat down and then said that we are already dominating South Africa. So what I would want is for Sundowns to dominate South Africa and hopefully be on the map globally. I believe that was the mindset of Klopi Motsepe. I understand. And then he sat down and then he brought back someone who can attract those players of Abu Serino, because Serino is one of the most successful signees of Mamelodi Sundowns. European. One of the most successful European signings for Mamelodi Sundowns. I understand. So Motsepe wanted more of that. Klopi Motsepe wanted more of that. And then I believe that he sat down and said that for us to do something like that, we need to change our mindset. If we want to go global, I believe that we must at least include a little bit of European swagger into our style. So he went for Flameback, right? I believe that Flameback, he came in, and then he did this thing. I wanted him to do what he's doing with Cardoso. I Rulani. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. Yeah. I wanted him to do what he's doing with Cardoso. I wanted him to do it with Urulani. I understand. He could have done it with Urulani, and then Sundowns would still be convincing every time when they play. I understand. Cardoso, I don't believe that he's a better coach than Rulani, bruv. I believe that Flameback came in and then he said that we want to go global and then we want to get these European players. Now let's get a coach that has experience with these European players that we are trying to build, to bring into Sundowns. Because you can see Sundowns now, it's very much signing European players, bro. They signed 2 now, if I'm not mistaken, right? And then they had Ribeiro. I understand. It shows that Flameback has the influence when it comes to signing those European players. They don't struggle. Like, look at this guy, Nuno Santos, that they signed. I looked at him, bro. He's got a good resume. I understand. A very, very much good resume. Ribeiro had a good resume. So I believe that the plan was from Klopi. The plan was to take Sundowns from dominating South Africa to dominating Africa, and also Sundowns to be on the global scale. I understand. People to know about Sundowns. So what happened on... Go on. Yeah. What happened in the Club World Cup is what Flameback wants Sundowns to be known for. I understand that. What happened go Club World Cup, even though they did not go through the knockout stages, but that taste, that thing, he showed them that this is what I want to happen to Sundowns. I want, because they can't get that level of attraction in South Africa, because South Africa is already dominated by your Kaizer Chiefs, your Orlando Pirates. So I want Sundowns to dominate globally, to be known globally, to be known as that team. You saw what happened, Braga, in Club World Cup. Everyone was saying Sundowns this, Sundowns that. One understand. So that's what he wants. So I believe that he showed them the vision, and then he said that, this is what I want Sundowns to be. That was the taste of the thing that...
I just want to ask you. So Flemingberg successfully moved aside Rulani. He moved aside Mangoba. He changed some of the things in the background. Is the last part of the plan for it to work for Fleming some of these other players now? So the senior guys in the players' room, that maybe those guys also need to be moved aside so that you can bring in guys that are in line with this thing, that are running this thing. Is that maybe something? As you can see, ne ba striker bo Shalile, ba strikile bo Mudau, go strikile Bangbage, le ka Mangoba ne go lwaniwa.
Yes, like Flameback Braga, like he wants to insert, number one, European mindset, and then also European players. That's what I believe. It's happening, Braga. Like even a blind person can see what's going on. Imagine Braga benching Oshalulile. Like, why would you bench Shalulile? Like, from the start, why? This guy has been banging goals. With also that game of Kaizer Chiefs when we were playing Sundowns, I believe that Shalulile could have come in and then done something. He's one of that guy. I understand. The best players, like, they don't play. You can look at this guy, man, Tapelo Morena. Is it him? The yellow card one? Yeah, South Africa. Yeah, Tapelo Morena. That guy, Brayaga, you can see there is a different attitude when he plays for Bafana to when he plays for Sundowns. Like, the chemistry is dying, Brayaga, because this guy doesn't believe in South African players. Junior Khanye once said this, and then I don't agree with him 100% most of the time, but he's right. Flembeck doesn't believe in South African players. If it was not for the loss of South Africa, this thing of not including more European players in the squad than South African players, I believe that Sundowns would have so many European players, because Flembeck has the influence, Brian. You can see by how he's pulling these European players. Understand? So now I believe that he doesn't have hope when it comes to South African players. So yeah, he wants European style of play, European mindset. So yeah.
For time, I'm going to have to jump in. Alejandro, thank you so much for joining me, guys. We're going to move on to the next topic. The next topic is about Mbogazi. Should Mbogazi have gone to the Under-20 World Cup? Mbogazi should have gone to the Under-20 World Cup. Do you agree or disagree? While I get the panel ready, guys, please remember in the panel, you're coming on for the Mbogazi chat now. I'll make time at the end of the show where we can all speak about what we want to jump in on that we saw that was interesting from this. Here's my thing. I flagged this a while ago with Sundowns. I did a video a long time ago where I said Sundowns is at a crossroads, and Sundowns has to decide what the future of Sundowns is going to be, how it's going to look, where they're going to go with it, right? Who's going to do what? And my question was, how do you sweep clean? So somebody had to win. It's either Rulani, aka Pitso's tree, had to win, or it's Flemingberg and Klopi and the new wave was meant to win this out. My worry now is because they've created that thing where coach hasn't been with Sundowns for 12 years like they normally were. Like under Pitso, Rulani, Mangoba were there for 12, 14 years, right, altogether. Now when a new coach comes in, you have different things that you have to deal with. And I think one of the things to deal with is the players and the player power, right? So I always reference Rulani because I always say, Rulani got the chance and the ability and the backing to move Abo Hlompokekana out. Abo Charlie were fighting with him and he moved him out. Abo Denny Onyango, he was given the leeway to put them on the bench, to do this, to do that, to bring in his own boys. And I always say, Pep Guardiola joins Barcelona, he comes to the first team, he gets rid of Abo Ronaldinho, Abo Teko, and he brings in his own boys because they'll always love him. So my question was going to be, one, will you allow a coach to be able to jump in and do that? Will you give him the leeway to do that? Number one. And number two, will you allow the coach the time, the 3-4 years in this new system that you guys are building where people come in, Baspana, the employees, they're not family. Will you be able to give that person time to say, yes, guys, mokwena, I'm moving you out. Similar to how Rulani, Mangoba and Rulani went, Charlie, we're moving you out. Mokwena is going to take your spot right now. Hlompo, we're moving you out. This one's going to come in. So you can create your own connections and the own people that rely on you. You get what I mean? But anyway, let me see. Guys, remember, but we'll do it at the end. I'll put you in at the end. Don't worry, I'll put you in at the end. Let me put in the next one. Guys, there's 5 topics that I want to just get through quickly and give people time. Then I'll have a time at the end of the show where I let everybody come in. Yellow Black Sheep, I had the show there. Lebza, will you be fine coming in for this? And then later we can speak again about Sundowns. I just want to get as many people in and touch on as many topics as I can. Okay, let me go to Patrick. Welcome to the show, my brother. How are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm good, my brother. I'm good, my brother.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly. Bogazi. Bogazi should have gone to the World Cup. Yeah, Bogazi should have gone to the Under-20 World Cup. Do you agree or disagree?
I disagree. As a Paris fan, I disagree.
Why?
With players development, it's so easy to break a player. Mogazi did not play for the AFCON, and they won the AFCON, the Under-20. So with that, should he go to Under-20 to the World Cup and then the team does not do well? Don't start blaming on him, this boy. So I feel like it's probably a good thing to select the team that went to the AFCON and just put them there. If they fail as a team. They don't have new players, new faces that they can blame on. I think it's a good thing that he shouldn't go to the World Cup. For my side, I feel like it will break him if he start getting criticism for the things that he cannot control. I mean, the level there is it's much different from here. It's so easy for your teammate to make a mistake, and then everybody will expect you to be a hero and stop everything as if you are Superman. But I feel like also Paris really needs him. I saw Nda is training, but Nda is a part-time player these days. So I feel like Paris do need Mbogazi at the moment, and the national team as well. So he's already made his debut on the national team. Keep him in that level. Forget about the Under-20, even though it's a good experience, but he's already been selected for the national team. Keep him there. Let him gain the experience in that level.
What do you say? What do you say to the people that say, even though the Under-20 might be a lower level, it's an exposure to international football that maybe he's not going to be able to get as much from Bafana. So if you look at some of the players that have played for Bafana before, I know we're looking at a World Cup possibly, but the people who have played before, they were great Bafana players, but they never got exposed at an international level that way. And maybe Mbogazina needs to be exposed to some of that where he's playing different systems from around the world against the best youngsters in the world.
Well, I guess there's that, but I would like him to play for the national team. The Under-20 is not the Under-20. I will put it this way. Half of, if not 80% of those players that are going to play Under-20 might not even make it to the Bafana team. So playing for Bafana gives you the exposure and it gives you the experience that you can be picked again and again and again. And eventually you'll play at the highest level, even more than this one. It's okay to gain experience, but experience for what? For something that you might not even compete in again, and probably it might break even your career, it might break you emotionally. So I feel like since he has made it to Bafana, keep him on that level. Bafana will play international friendlies with teams that are better than the Under-20s. He will gain experience there. It doesn't mean that now that not because it's a World Cup now he has to play. I think there are a lot of players that have played in the Under-20 World Cup for South Africa, and half of them we don't even remember them. Others just faded into that tournament. So if a player is already made it to the national team, do not downgrade to for the sake of saying he qualified for that age. Give the others an opportunity to play, and then this one, if it's graduated to the national team, keep him there. That's what I feel.
Why is it a downgrade?
For me, it's a downgrade because the level of football, as much as we can say, it's the World Cup, we're playing against European teams, it's still youngsters. The level, the physicality is still not the same. I mean, half of those players cannot even, most of those players might not even stop Mofokeng if we were to put Mofokeng in there. So it is a World Cup, but I don't think everybody takes it seriously.
I think with only
I don't think a lot of people will take it seriously. I don't think even the attendance will be that good. So keep him for the. We are playing the World Cup. We are in Canada next year. He will play there. For this one, I
Okay.
don't think even the football quality will be there for him to gain any experience.
But it's the best 20-year-olds in the world. We always speak about our players going overseas. He's going to play versus the kids from La Masia. He's going to play versus the kids who are playing in England or whatever. And I think we can all agree that the 20-year-olds that side are miles ahead of our 20-year-olds.
Yeah, but if you're going to use that logic, I might say in an under 20 World Cup player and the player who's playing for his national team, which one is more likely to be picked by a bigger European team?
If Mbogazi is
Probably the
good,
one that is
probably
actually
him.
playing for the national team.
Okay, but for time, let
But
me jump
if
in.
I'm
Yeah.
playing for the national team, yeah.
No, go on.
I was saying if I'm playing for the national team, I'm more likely to be picked. For a team, a big European team will pick me if I'm playing for the national team. In the under 20s, there are scouts that are going there. The teams are not even watching there. Even the owners of the clubs are not even watching. They send their scouts there.
For time, I'm going to jump in. I want to bring in Thomas. Thomas, welcome to the show. How are you? Oh, Thomas, are you with me? Okay, let's try Gary. Gary, are you with me?
Hey, sharp kunjani futhi omkhulu?
Ngimnandi man, Gary. Gary, Mbogazi should have gone to the World Cup. Do you agree or disagree?
I disagree completely.
Mm.
Yeah, you find young defenders that are even weaker than Umbogazi at their age. Umbogazi needs to be developed financially as a player and financially, physically also to sustain his career long. Strong boy is 19. Deprive privilege to harm that 100 million, for example. Make a difference. Be the first player. Same as Umabizela. Paris has that tendency to create such defenders. After he Chiefs, Lucas Khatebe, Mark Fish was Pirates as well. You understand? Umabizela, Pirates again. Mbalana will compare, you understand? He needs to be given that chance, Munna, to go and learn. Ukuthi uyodlala le ngaphandle ama-outside under 26 years in this country. He means he's good, dog. Akahamba abhekane nabo Neymar, abhekane nabo Garnacho, bonke those boys. Abhekane noLamine Yamal. Simrate ePriami. Siyamdeprive because sithi mncane. For me, that's wrong. He has a potential to bring a change in his community because as a person ngimbona mina go social media, regardless of what they say, I think he's a nice person, dog. Uthanda i-comment yakhe, uyafuna ukwenza imali ayenze umehluko ekasi. You understand? But thina sinenkinga yokuthi sizicabana sisodwa ukuthi you want Sundowns to win, you want Paris to win or Chiefs to win. You know I'm a Sundowns fan, but I support talent when I see talent. And this guy is strong, dog. Blind. Marco Ribeiro. He's 19, this guy is 26, Ribeiro. And that's another step that you can show this guy can make it in the Premier League, can make it in the Bundesliga, can make it in the La Liga, in the French La Liga, whatever, France. So let's give this boy a chance. Even namanje, I feel so bad. Nangpega o Motaung CAF the life is living ada. And then yes, like what happened here? Because these boys are supposed to be gone together and to experience money at a young age, learn different cultures of money, and even like us, that's what born and fit from like with bank. I tell you, so many legends have made money, went overseas, but we are next. And it's a good time to learn about money now. Now money is still under your parents' guidance and everything. These boys at the right space to live. I was puzzled by the interview ne? At age 24, he went to France, I think, if I'm not mistaken. What they told me I'm old. And he was only 24 years.
Yeah.
So I understand you. When do you want Mbogazi to go? Or when do you want Lebogang Vaye, Mapena Vaye, And on other platforms, sorry to go back there a bit, I'm just going to finish up quickly. Sundowns on that side is rebuilding, guys. We have elders, I'm seniors, about 28, 29, 30. Sundowns is rebuilding. It's not in a bad position. You're number 2. So first must be patient with the coach. No. Sorry, put. Back to your topic.
I want to ask you, so to the point you were making, would it be advantageous would it be more advantageous for Bogazi to go to an under-20 World Cup where I'd say the best teams in the world are sending their kids, they're watching them, they're analyzing them, he's getting a chance to play, and would it be so bad for Bogazi to play Pirates games, under-20 games, and Bafana games, seeing as Lamine Yamal are playing Nations League, Euros, they're playing Champions League, they're playing this, they're doing that. They've got tons of games, they routinely play 55 games. Do you think that protecting him by saying he mustn't play as much is a problem?
I think he's strong enough. Nyamtemba, mean. I don't know if everybody would say this, share the same value with me. Nyamtemba, he can do it. He's very young, he's fresh, he's strong. He can play the World Cup. He can play African Champions League. He can play AFCON. He can play under 20. This man, they must just manage him better. They must just manage him better and make sure they balance his skills and strengths, because you can't use it. So strong boy, and we all behind him, some supporter. He needs to be managed properly.
Okay.
Yeah, njengo leboga umalebo ne Mfukeni abamfakanga last time igame Bafana. I think bebamprotect bazile kuzoba physical, but no asimbeke ngaphandle kancane. And I'm glad one of the former footballers said it. I don't remember who was, but badlala Chiefs bengimamele kancane ngikhohliwe lapha kujubani kutso. He did say no, abambeke ngaphandle bangamfaki. I think bengugagca, if I'm not mistaken. But bangamfaka bazomlimaza uboy mbona bamlimaza. It's South Africa ayenze kancane imanage the system ibambe ushaya wanyana ibambe, and that thing happened 100% the way it happened game in Nigeria.
Okay. For time I'm gonna jump in. I wanna bring Ukoke in. Koke, welcome. How are you?
Togos.
I'm good. Since everyone in the panel nabantu abalalele nabantu abaku-YouTube, man. Greetings to everyone, to all platforms.
Bogazi should have gone to the under-20 World Cup. Agree or disagree?
No, I agree with Bogazi should go to the under-20 World Cup. I mean, when was the last time South Africa under-20 ifika World Cup? And why do we want our youngsters to play under-20 World Cup? That also should be a question. Why do we want our young players to go to the World Cup? The reason why Bafana the World Cup is because we want them to be at the international level in terms of the standards of Glala, isn't it? We want them to be exposed to that level so that when they go to senior team, for example, Umboga is playing number under-20 manje. It's gonna give him a taste of what he can expect next year, the real World Cup. Because as much as the age, they are young, they're under-20, but in terms of the system and the way things are done, they are very similar. What Spain is doing, Nama youngsters, wow, they're under-20s, it's what they are doing in the first team. So they're giving a taste to this is what we're doing as Spain, this is what we're doing as Germany, this is what we're doing as England, this is what we're doing as France. So go to the under-20, get to taste what am I going to expect facing a first team. Because if you can pay attention, everything, especially in the modern day football, it's a pattern. The way, especially those countries who are very successful in football, the way they raise their youngsters, they develop them in a way to say you're gonna fit in like a glove with his team. So playing those youngsters right now can give you an idea what you're gonna face with his team. So I feel for Umbogazi going there, it's gonna give him an extra advantage to say, okay, this is how they're approaching their games. First team, this is what I can expect. So
Koke, if I can ask you, Okay, so what would you say to the people that come out and would say that Umbogazi being 20 and having to go to the under 20s, in our recent history, there hasn't really been a pipeline from 17, 20, 23. So it doesn't matter if he plays that, because a lot of the time the people get stuck there. I mean, if you think about Umbogazi, he's maybe had a year, a year of playing first team football as a player, right? And him coming in, Champa playing that have been playing under 20, under 21, under 23. What did you say to the people that say it doesn't matter? Because Oksala, those guys are not making it. He's made it. He must just stay where he is.
Me, I would say it's a good thing, more when you're a young player and you manage to jump on a stage. But that it goes back to that thing, which what do we expect from under 20 South Africa when they're going to the World Cup? Are we there to add numbers, or are we there to make it out of the group stages to maybe last 16, last 8? Because if we say you just want to be there and say, okay, it's under 20, you call a World Cup, that's it, then you don't need Umbogazi. But if we want to have that thing, a continuation, yes, we are in the World Cup, but we want more, then it's not a trans match to have a player like quality Umbogazi and have that youngster Smith as the pairing Yama center back and that goalkeeper. Now we're talking Uguti. Here we can challenge going out of our group stages, maybe round of 16 to the last 8. Why are we sending our boys there to just say, okay, singenile World Cup, it's the same thing as Bafana. We ask Uguti, if we have a quality player that's playing somewhere around the world and then we are going to a World Cup, do we need him to be there or not? Team yakhe yadlala eEurope or wherever or something, team yakhe yadlala ngai, is it okay with bahale ngai? And then it goes back to say, what do we want from that? If we are just there for numbers, then it's fine, Magahlala Umbogazi. But if we're saying we want to go find the tournament, then we do need equality Umbogazi.
But can I ask you, do you think Tylen Smith's development, him going to QPR, is further along than Bogazi? Or Chandre, let's say Chandre. But actually, no, Tylen Smith. Is Tylen Smith in a better place than Bogazi?
Definitely, he's in a better place. Why would I say that? You look at his salary, first of all. How much is getting paid with QPR? I'm definitely sure he's getting paid better than Umbogazi. Exposure, the kind of players Ojimanabo on a daily basis. And then you are in a global stage. As much as we love our South African players, but we have to admit, being in Europe gives you that platform, being in a global stage. Now you no longer look at yourself as a South African player, but you look at yourself as big, as an international player. We have to take a look and say, versus QPR, on every game QPR idlalayo, nala South Africa, ama game esiwadlalayo, exposure in terms of viewership, ingakanani. You are more exposed. If you go to a scout or any agent or any team and say, I have a player edlala with QPR ne player edlala with Pirates, scout siyocabanga bani kuqala.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
Odlala with QPR, scout sicabanga yena kuqala ukuthi lo muntu lona, for the main fact they are coming from the same background, but boyithu badlala iDDC. But bheka omunye ukuthi kuphi. And bheka uCampbell ukuthi kuphi. I'm sorry to include this name, but I want to include 2 names in this topic just to show you something. Bheka Okon, Imen Okon, and look at Aphelele Teto. Teto, no one is looking at him, but I can tell you Teto, the way I am it could be overseas very soon. And you ask yourself, I'm a player with that age, Teto, no Ekon, how many of them, njengoba thina siba high profile, abombokazi and others, abakwazi ukufika to that level?
Okay.
As you're giving me example like Campbell.
Yeah. For time's sake, I'm going to jump in. I think I may even do this. I may even skip the rest of the topics, and I'll stick to the ones we've spoken to, the 2 we've spoken here. But here's my 2 cents. My 2 cents is very simple. You can be a big fish in a small pond, or you can be a small fish in a big pond. with the ability to maybe grow larger. Our most successful teams, or not most successful, but the players that looked really good played about our Olympics. They played those type of things. And if you have an opportunity to take Mbogazi as a 20-year-old, as a 20-year-old and say, go and play in an under-20 World Cup where you're going to be playing the under-20s from Spain, the under-20s from Mang, the under-20s from this country and that country and that country. And you can also gauge how good you are versus them, because we can't sit here and say Pirates' first team, you want Relay to go overseas because you think that Pirates' first team is not going to give him that much, right? But on the same token, say that Mbogazi playing in Pirates' first team should override him going overseas to go play versus these other kids or kids of that nature. You know, it's a tough conversation, that one, right? Urile kwa manje. We want him to go. Why would he go? Who wants him? Who's looking at him? Maybe at an under-20 World Cup, somebody like Mbogazi shines a little bit. Somebody was joking here in the comments. Somebody was joking here in the comments, and they literally said, Uripero Hambeli World Cup. He went to a World Cup and his eyes got opened, and now he wants to do other things, right? So would we be robbing Mbogazi that chance to even gauge, right? If a 17-year-old Lamine Yamal is doing what he's doing in La Pagu, Spain or whatever, what does the rest of the La Masia graduates have when you are going up against Mbogazi? At that age too, because those who are speaking about going and playing the full World Cup, I'm sitting there and going, okay, go play the full World Cup. That's great. It might help your exposure there to play against people so above. Or you can go to an under-20, shine with your peers, and build your career forever from there, if that makes sense, right? Shine with your peers, you kill them. If you guys are saying it's an easy thing, Mbogazi can be a star of a tournament then, let's say. Mbogazi signing better contracts depending on his management or whatever. But I'd just like to say as the last thing, for me, how incredible is it that Mbogazi has been playing 1 year? It's been 1 year basically in a first team setup, and we're speaking about him like this. What a great talent. Hopefully we don't stunt it because of what we're doing. But anyway. Okay, let me do this. I'll keep it open. I'll keep this topic open. We're not going to move on to the other three. I'll do another round of this, then we'll go back to Caruso. How's that? We'll keep it like that, because I see a lot of people are interested here. So let me see. I'm going to do another panel. I want to hear what you guys are saying about this and where do you lie on this topic. So let me see. Banna. Oh. Echo Engaga. Okay. Siana, my brother, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good, and how are you?
I'm good, my brother. Okay, I'm going to continue on with this topic. Then we'll go back to the Sundowns one after this. But Siana, Mbogazi should have gone to the Under-20 World Cup. Do you agree or disagree?
I'm a bit patriotic about this, OT. Since I'm a Paris fan, I would say that he shouldn't go, just because for us, Mbogazi is an important part of the team, because Mbogazi is our captain. So letting him go would be a huge. It would be a huge. I could say a huge. I don't know how to put this word, but it will be
a disadvantage.
Disadvantage for the Pirates, because he's an important part of the team. Let me take you back. I agree with Ukoke. The Under-20 World Cup is a huge exposure. The Under-20 World Cup. I remember in 2009. In 2009, there was a World Cup, Under-20 World Cup, where about Charlie, about Darren Kitty, I don't think Kikantoli was there. Yeah, but then they got a lot of exposure there. And also, The advantage of the Under-20 World Cup, Uguti, the Ghanaian national team was based on their under-20 world, their under-20 team, just because they took most of the players from the under-20 and put them in the first team. I believe that's why they went to the quarterfinals, because there was fresh legs and all that things and all those things. So bakhona umuntu la besithi the under-20 World Cup is a downgrade, which I disagree a lot with it. As I said last time, ukuthi most of the players from the Ghana national team were playing in the under-20 national team in 2009. Then they went straight to the first team, to the senior national team.
Okay, can I ask you, Msian, on the point you're making right now, do you think that maybe this is not a Mbogazi World Cup problem? Maybe the problem is that the under-20s win the AFCON and it means nothing for Bafana, for example. There's no pipeline. You're mentioning Ghana that had a pipeline from under-20 to the first team, but then Bafana, all of those players are not even getting a look in Bafana. In comes Bogazi, who gets in through the league. Is that the problem here? That maybe for us, the under-20 means nothing because it means nothing in the grand scheme of the national teams?
Yeah, maybe for us, it doesn't mean nothing. But for other teams, it means a lot. So, under-20 World Cup, for us, it's a huge disadvantage. For example, I don't want to make an example about Yamini Yamal. You see, I don't want to make an example about Yamini Yamal. That's another topic. Arsenal, I think he's a left back. Miles Lewis Kelly. I don't know whether I'm saying it right.
Oh yeah, Lewis Kelly, yeah.
Lewis Kelly is an international player who plays for England, the senior national team. Lewis Kelly is an under-20. You'd never hear him. I watch Sky Sport Kakulu, so you'd never hear on Sky Sport such discussions ukuthi Lewis Kelly makayeke World Cup, because that will never happen. Never happen, because Lewis Kelly is an important player for Arteta in the Arsenal team. So for us, City team as Paris fans, ukuthi Umbokazi makangayeki World Cup, that I don't see a problem with that.
Is it for 30 seconds? Is it the same thing? Can you put Pirates? I don't want to be disrespectful. Can you put Pirates and Arsenal in the same boat?
Yeah, Oti, because it's the same thing. If Barcelona would never allow Lamine Yamal to go to the World Cup.
Because Lamine Yamal is playing Champions League.
He's playing Champions League.
UEFA.
Just like he parades. Yeah, just like he parades. Umbogazi plays in the CAF Champions League. All the competitions, we want to win the league. So why would we release Umbogazi, to such an important player to our team, to the under-20 World Cup? Where else he's also important for the senior national team.
For time, I'm gonna have to jump in. I want to go to Vuyo. Vuyo, welcome to the show. Bogazi should have gone to the under-20 World Cup. Do you agree or disagree?
I disagree.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a national team player, so you don't need to go back. They must give other children an opportunity to play. So I'm very, very happy with the decision. The boy will be okay with the national team. Yeah, because of once you are selected in the national team, you're getting a game time. There's no need to go back to the under-20. Yeah, it's like a promotion, OT.
Is it a promotion? When last did Bafana play proper international competition?
Maybe 2 weeks back.
No, I mean highest level, top 10, top 20, top 30 in the world.
It's been a while. But now they are going to the World Cup, OT. 2 weeks to come, we'll play the qualify for the World Cup. Mbogazi will play there. The national team, when you say I'm going to use Mbogazi for the World Cup qualifier, it's all you need, all the best players in the world. Yeah, are you saying to me that the under-20 tournament is bigger than the World Cup?
I'm saying that the level between the under-20 and the World Cup might drown Bogas. Let me put it like that.
All right,
it's Cassius Mailula going to England, to America, and then they bring in those two guys who used to play for Europe, and they're like, the levels are too big. We don't even want to give you a chance, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I understand you, but OT, the fact of the matter, you won't change the European what they think about us. You can go and play under-20. They will take you as you play in the amateur league, a non-league in the world. You will never change or convincing anyone to go to the World Cup. Unless you go there, you win the World Cup. It's when it's going to be the different. But as far as I'm concerned, Mbogazi is doing well and is getting a promotion to go and play. Even Lama, this boy Barcelona, you'll never hear he's going to play for under-20.
But guys, isn't it different? Isn't Lamine Yamal's development at a completely different place than Bogazi?
Yeah, but even you yourself, you said Mbogazi is a big player. In 1 year, who one youngster you ever done what Mbogazi is doing? We need to be honest. We need to be honest. He's going to play the World Cup qualifier for the senior team. Taking the senior team to the World Cup to make sure that he continue playing for the senior team. He have his position in the national team. And then next year we'll go play the World Cup. Because if you go to the under-20, you got injured. You are out to the senior team. Someone else will come there and play better than you. So you must make sure that you hold your position with both of the hands. Never look back. This boy is one of the best. We need to protect this boy. Even really, if you are still under 20, I will never allow some of the things. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Okay. For time, I'm gonna.
There's something you want to ask. You can ask.
No. For time, let me bring in concierge. Hansel, welcome to the show.
Good evening, OT, and everyone on the panel section, everyone on the comment section. The answer is no.
Okay, you disagree? Yeah.
Mr. OT, for me, I think Umsiana, my leader, maybe misunderstood me when I said it's a downgrade for Mbagazi. Let me put it in this context. Imagine you are a grade 6 learner, and then the teachers decide, or no, when you're too smart for this grade, let us condone you to the next grade, right? You're in grade 7 now. Yeah. And then when you're in grade 7, there's a competition, Yama grade 6, an international competition, and then they say, no, can you come and participate in that competition? What was the use for them promoting you in the first place? Right. So now if Mbogazi is an international Bafana player, why would you want to take him to an under-20 World Cup? For me, that does not make sense. And imagine the boy hasn't played more than 30 games for Orlando Pirates, right? And he even played more than 5 games for the Bafana, right? And also, there are certain competitions that will be participating in. Soon there will be the Black Label, there will be the Nedbank, and there will be the Carling Knockout, whatever. And then there's a Champions League at the same time. How many competitions can one boy play? I will call him a boy because he's 20 years old. How many competitions can such a young man play? And at the pinnacle of that, is an Orlando Pirates vice captain. He's captaining Orlando Pirates at this instant, right? It shows that he's a generational talent. He became an Orlando Pirates vice captain or captained the Orlando Pirates matches when he was just 19, approaching 20, right? So why would you want to ban out the boy?
Can I ask you, I just want to go back to the example you made about the grade 6s. So he's the best grade 6 in the country. He gets condoned to grade 7. There's a chance for him to go play against the best grade sixes in the world that
Yeah.
are maybe play in places that are a level of a grade 8 in
Okay.
comparison. Wouldn't
Yes.
you want him to go and also figure out, even in himself, that Gumnandi Pirates, I don't want to disrespect anybody, Gumnandi Pirates, but would I be able to play in a Barcelona as an under 20? Would I be able to play at La Masia? Would I be able to play at some of these other places? Just even to gauge. Because now you look at Mfukeng, who's one of the best talents that we have, and think about the amount of proper top tier international competition that Mfukeng has taken part in. And sadly, he hasn't taken part in much. You know, so even doesn't know what his level is versus some of the Mfukengs of everywhere else. And if he's good, he could stand up so much at that tournament that he's taken by some of the teams that know how to develop him to a further place. Whereas in a World Cup, I mean, you play against someone, one of the top guys, Lewandowski, he embarrasses you for that day because you're not quite at the level. You might never be looked at again. I don't know if you get me.
Oh, I get you, Mr. OT. But my thing is, why would you? For me, there's the qualifiers right now, right? We're playing the qualifiers, the World Cup qualifiers. For me, I would think those ones are much important than the under 20 World Cup. And there's also
to who?
Yeah.
To who?
To the player.
To his development or to the country?
To his development and the country. If he does good, and then it's good for the country, right? And also there's AFCON coming up, Mr. OT, right? Would you say the under 20 World Cup is bigger than the AFCON?
To who? To who? That's why the reason why I'm asking you to who is that objectively, yes, the World Cup is bigger, but to a developing player, the under 20s could be more important to his development.
Okay, let me throw this at you. What if he goes there and then get embarrassed by another 20, by another under 20, the same way you were saying he would get embarrassed by Lewandowski? Which one is better, being embarrassed by your age mate or by someone who is already proven?
I'd rather know my level. I'd rather know my level. So now I know that I'm really good in South Africa, but I can't touch those guys. I need to work harder.
Yeah, for me, I think it's limiting for the boy. I think the boy is open to so much. He's much talented, and at the same time, Mr. Oti, let me underline this. He is captaining Orlando Pirates, right?
For sure.
The Orlando Pirates. Do you understand that? The Orlando Pirates, not just any other team. Who do you know in the history of the PSL who was under 19 who have ever captained any other team in the PSL? Any other team, not Orlando Pirates, Kaizer Chiefs, or Sundowns.
Oh no, sure, 400%. I'm not fighting that.
Yeah,
that's
so
a great thing.
For me, I think we'll be limiting the boy. Let the boy fly, right? Let the boy fly wherever his wings decide to take him, right? Basically for me, I think the under 20 for him to be limiting, and how many competitions can just one player play, right? Because the Orlando Pirates needs him. He's a starter for Pirates. He's a key defender. He's not someone who comes in as a substitute. If you check, he played 2 matches in 290 minutes in the qualifiers, right?
Yeah.
And after the players that he played with, some of them who did not play the full matches, when they came back to play the MTN 8, they were not there. He also played 130 minutes on top of 120, on top of the 180 that he played there. It shows the importance of the player.
Okay, so Lamine Yamal plays 38 games just in the league. They play more Champions League games. They play more internationals, if you count your Nations Leagues and whatever. Already, Lamine Yamal is putting that many games on his body in J. Why are we protecting Mbogazi at this level?
The reason why we're protecting Mbogazi is because he's a generational talent. It's someone that we wouldn't want to risk, especially coming out of South Africa, because we haven't had. That's why most of the time when people talk about Mbogazi, they compare him to Oldie John Mabizela. It shows that there is a scarcity of people of the caliber of Mbogazi, right?
Same as Yamal.
Same as Yamal. Yamal is from Spain. We are talking about the one in South Africa now.
Okay, but for time. Let me do this for time. Just to respect everybody else, I want to bring in Agent. Agent, my brother, welcome to the show. Where do you sit on this? Bogazi should have gone to the Under-20 World Cup. Do you agree or disagree?
Hey, Banzak Banella 100K man, you more hand, so you must be thankful, man. Now.
Oh, what's that thing?
No, I'm joking, man. Hey, I've never seen the concierge all over like this. They say when the heart is involved, forget about the mind. But let me ask you a question before I answer your question, Mr. Oti. Why this question?
For me,
let me rephrase it. Yeah, let me rephrase it like this.
Yeah.
Why this question in the sense that what is the end objective? What are we saying from Bogazi is, do you want Mbogazi to get exposure? Want Mbogazi to grow? What do you want from this question?
I want us to have a deep discussion about the development of our players and how sometimes, and I'm not saying whether it's right or wrong, but whether some steps are necessary, some steps are needed in order for you to develop properly, or is it just now you've been catapulted to the top of a certain place and we forget about the rest of maybe your development, your exposure to the world, your level in the world as a player, a singular player?
Yeah, because I think everything gets lost in this, in that, are we, if what we want, and I assume if what we assume is best for Mbogazi is for him to leave the shores of South Africa and, play, EPL and the best tournaments, right? We could assume that if that's what we want, right? If that's what we want truly, then he should go. But if we want our team, Pirates, to win cups, to dominate the league and gain points, and for Bafana to qualify, then he shouldn't go, right?
Yeah.
But for me, I assume the intention of the question is, what is best for Mbogazi, the individual? And for me, I think, and it's an illness that we have as South Africans. Who do we think we are in the grand scheme of things? We are just a third world country in a third world continent somewhere in the jungle where you are still using your horn to communicate. We are not a global powerhouse. We are just another country in Africa. So if we want our boy to expose, we must understand that we are not at the level of Spain. We are not at the level of Argentina. We're not at the level of Brazil. Where those ones, their shortcut or their route to Europe or to the best leagues is going to be wholly different to our route. For us to get to Europe, you must struggle. You must go through it. See how Pesitao managed to get to EPL.
Yeah.
You have to go through Belgium and do all those things because we are a third country in Africa. But they can take a kid from Brazil at 19 and he's playing straight away. And I love what the concierge is saying. Europe, do you want our player to go to Europe? Is that what you want? Is that what's the best for him? But I'm not there. But my point is, we have to understand that at the World Cup, if the boys to play the World Cup, how many talented players are going to be there? Is he just going to be a small fish in an ocean? Rather than him going to a club under 23 World Cup, where he can be the bigger fish in a pond, where he can be noticed. If at all we want him to be noticed, chances of him being noticed and chances of him standing out. Remember, we want him exposed, we want him to stand out. If you want him to stand out more and you want him to shine more, it's for him when he's a bigger guy. He's the biggest guy in the competition, you know? And we shouldn't make the mistake of comparing him with Miles Kelly and your Lamines and stuff, because they are where we want our player to go. You know, so as I say, we should be very careful with what we want, you know. And again, what is best for him or what is best for the country? What is best for him is let him go play the World Cup. Let him, and this is maybe the point that maybe people missed that I heard from you was, don't do it too much sink or swim with our players. You know, either you sink or you swim. We don't want to give our players a chance to grow, right? You take Eletaku, you want to first game, you want to put him into a Club World Cup against Dortmund. Did we give him time to grow up the level? So we want to do the same with Omboga, is that maybe the first big or second big inter tournament he's playing, he's in starting 11. Why not allow him to grow gradually so that he can go? A process, as they say, trust the process is important. Yeah, thank you. I think someone had a question for me. Yeah.
For time.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I think my thing is, and I'm not saying it's right to go to the Under-20 World Cup. I'm not saying it's right to stay Pirates. I'm not saying it's right to play for Bafana. My worry, and I'm seeing it in the comments right now, is that we're treating Bogazi as a finished product. And I worry because in South Africa, we tend to kill the players that we feel that are finished products without noting that there's still a long way to go for Mbogazi in terms of a development, for example. I don't even want the boy himself to be thinking of himself that way, because that's how sometimes we stunt our own players. Wuti, like South Africa, you're the biggest thing. You're the most important thing. I just put down a simple example. Just on games, a player like Lamine Yamal, if we're going to bring him into the convoy, I see in the comments, that kid is playing Boma 50 games, 55 games. You know what I mean? High level, crazy. Runawi, yeah?
And on that, Mr. Uti, you know, you are mentioning an important point. And maybe this is where it gets tricky that, okay, Umufuken, for example, you are saying Umufuken should go to Barcelona, for example. Has he been exposed to conditions that are going to say, Barcelona are going to say, this guy is going to fit in? You know, right now, what we're seeing is, Umbogazi, first things first, we're taking a risk with you because you're going to maybe further develop you and everything. But can't you reduce that risk by showing us that you can handle playing 50 games a season? But we want Yamal hype, but we don't want the Yamal work.
Yeah.
But also, for you to be recognized in the same level as Yamal, you must be 2 times the Yamal. Right now, I can tell you, there's a kid right now in Lesotho who is way better than Mufokeng, somewhere. But for him to get the recognition of Mufokeng, he must work 2 times hard for us to recognize him, you know, and close him so that we can allow others in, Mr. Uti.
Okay, yeah. I want to bring in, yeah.
Let me, this point that I want to say about that. We like finishing, not just the strikers, but even us. There's a player, there's Mufokeng. We see there's a star there. There's Mbogazi, we see there's a star there. There is Vilakazi, we see there's a star there. There's Junior Khan, you see there's a star there. What are we doing to make them the finished product? We are always ready to just leave them as the raw talent that we just saw when we met them, you know, willing to ride it until he's finished. But we never make sure that he becomes the complete product. Yeah.
Let me go to Uveli Lemtakabab. Welcome.
Hey, kunjani mntakababa?
Hey, mina bengibuza question nivule enye into. Na question ikhona. Should Bogazi have gone to the Under-20 World Cup? Do you agree or disagree?
Under the current circumstances, I have to disagree. But if the situation was not the way it is currently, I would have agreed. Because now, why am I saying so? It was currently at this present moment, we have to look at what's best for Yena and also what is required from yena as himself, because as I will support the statements ka agent Magat Guti. What is the end goal for us? Is just to go there and compete, or do you want him the bigger goal is to go overseas and adapt into playing like overseas? But then again, we have to ask ourselves a question, Guti. If we talk about him adjusting and him developing more, what's best for him? Is he okay playing for Orlando Pirates and also playing for Bafana and also participating in the local tournaments that are here in South Africa and also in the Champions League? Because now sometimes we tend to confuse this thing and think sometimes in Europe, that's where you're better developed, and we will even pinpoint players and say those one have got better advantage. But are we saying to ourselves that sometimes second division, say Europe, or not even second division, but the B team on that league that they're playing, let's say take for example Andre Campbell or Smith, where they're playing, is it for them playing there, that's a better development as compared to playing in a CAF Champions League, of which I totally disagree. Sometimes I had the privilege of sometimes knowing even some of those contracts that those players are getting playing on those leagues. And in most cases, they are not even more than what these guys here are earning. They are way lesser. They are not much. So sometimes we must be careful of saying playing Europe or overseas. Yes, it is a benchmark, but there's certain levels that you have to meet in order for you to be there, and also we have to certain level that you have to accept. Okay, then this is the required standard. Then it's okay here. But here, Umbogazi is faced with a situation whereby Guti, he had to make a choice. Even his employer had to make a choice. You're good. Okay, it's fine. As much as we would love for Umbogazi to go and play for World Cup to represent South African national team. But now in our arsenal, are we covered in his position that he's playing currently?
Yeah.
Of which currently is no.
Yeah.
Because he's the only players that are available on his position. It's him, it's CBC, and CM. You've got only those three. Usesan and Nonda, they haven't fully recovered. Utlog is still injured. So currently for you, as for Orlando Pirates, that's a disadvantage for themselves. So they won't agree. And secondly, if you will have a senior national coach who will request also suggest, but I will need this player for these two important senior World Cup qualifiers. I think I'm going to need his contribution there on that level, and also assist his team to participate even Nagu CAF coming in December, and also potentially going to a senior World Cup, a senior players World Cup next year. So you see now you have to weigh those circumstances and come up with the decision that probably maybe will be best for the player himself, and also the benefit of his employer, like the person who's taking good care of this player, Umbogazi. So maybe if the situation wasn't like this, the way we're going,
but Veli, do you know what's the scary thing about the situation for me? The scariest thing about the situation is what happens if Sesan and Dad don't get injured? Yes. Do we even see him? You get what I mean? And it feels like i-system yethu yonke from Bafana club what it's based so much on ukubalaki. Like it's based on yazi aspadevelopi siyabachayisa. And my worry is that even in the conversation we're having now, we're having a conversation ngumuntu esimchayisile. I don't think there was a development plan for Umbogazi, if we're being 100% honest. I think it's circumstance. And what I worry is that is circumstance in Pirates, is circumstance in Begelana. And if there's not proper planning around it, now Bruce yamfuna, lo yamfuna. It's been a year. You know what I mean? It's been 1 year.
No, but
and you know what else scares me, Velil?
Yes.
Khanye under 20 winning AFCON. They're there. 90% of those players uBruce akabacabanga nokubacabanga. You know what I mean? Ama-club wakho ewabo ababacabanga nokubacabanga. So then I go, what's the point? What's the point? My argument against Umbokazi going that side for under 20 is that uzothatha umuntu oyistar and no disrespect, umhambise nabo mfundo who don't play. And then nimfaka kuleyo tournament. That's my only negative, to say that in terms of team under 20, I don't think it's strong enough to house Umbokazi right now. And you might be doing him the disservice of sending him that side in J. Nabantu bangadlali, and you expect something else versus maybe Intwana Zangale, who even if they're playing B team, they're playing very high level B team. You know, and abe tubahlezi.
Yeah, but manje uyabona uzibuza ubuye waziphendula futhi waqeda ngayo le question yakho.
No. I don't have a side. But all I was saying was that yeah.
Yeah, from your point of view, is that, remember there was a time whereby I've asked you a question, Noguti. Mr. Otis, yabona ama team kuKhosafa na under 20 ayahamba ayodlala, but you don't have your senior national team coach who's not coaching them. So surely that's where it get lost, because uBruce uzobabiza ababonapi. Because he didn't get an opportunity even to work them. But while if I believe as a senior national team coach, you are employed, you get a full salary. There's no month you are getting paid to coach a senior national team. And if Kosafa is being played by the senior South African team, if I clash in a calendar APSL, surely you should be there to take those kids and coach them and see, just try to get to close that gap. There's so many gaps that are open in such a way you go to. Look, for example, you've got a law that says go first division NFD. You must play 5 under 23 players, but I don't even remember one under 23 player from NFD even playing for under 20. I don't even know one. But they are there. But they are there. They are playing. So yes, a system we can also blame, but nakona futhi in terms of say it's one of those things whereby ngathi kuwa enye kuvuke enye kunjalo vele. If the system esikhulela kuyo of a country that the way it is, uyibekile agent one is a third world country. So it's unfortunate ukuthi we were born into a system and a society whereby ukuthi we're in a country where some parts of the countries, they are not exposed to certain things. It's just that good they're not exposed into opportunities like a kid who's in an urban areas like South Africa. But if let's say we're in a situation or in a position of we've got a view of what's happening around the country as a whole, then maybe we'll be talking a different story, not like it now. But kusase uyovela ukuthi ukuwa kwenye ukuvuka kwenye yivo sale ngubhayizile waphuma ungenela unkotha wasithatha ispace uhambile useDubai manje so izoba njalo vele. Umbokazi ufikile kwenzeka abafowethu balimala abayithu wathola ithuba walithatha hamba ngalo kumanje kuthi abantu bamsuse lapha yana naye ulithathe lakhe ithuba azange aliyekele. So ayikho into ezoyenza vele we are in that situation esizola because of a society that we grew up upon it. So that's it.
I'm just sad that it doesn't seem like, and maybe it's a cool, but it doesn't seem like there's a care for Mbokazi. And when you look at the star players that we've had in the country, unfortunately, Abo Teko, Abo Tembazwane, Abo Lodge, it doesn't seem like there was a care for them. There was a care for their talent at that time, if I can put it like that. So whether Intwana gets better or not, or whether we're structuring lento yake, it doesn't matter, because you are shisa manje. And then what's going to happen is that he starts hitting a young, starts going down. Sizokhohlwa ngaye, and we're going to look at the next shiny thing. Instead of Guti, okay guys, must be shiny sonke. Okay, if Mbokazi was such a talent, he should have already been playing under 20. You know what I mean? Yes. We should have known him from that. But it's the fact that Besngamazi wavumbuka ku-Pirates, uvumbuka ku-national team. I'm scared ukuthi uzovumbuka out, and then we won't care about the kid anymore. You know what I mean?
And abaningi futhi abasazovumbuka kanje njengoba ngisho ukuthi asikawahamba wonke amagumbi amane omhlaba eSouth Africa. Ziningi ngabe ingane ezifana naye ezinganawo amathuba njengala. Ukuthi mhlawumbe makuvelile ichance ukuthi zilithole, or mhlawumbe just to be in a position or a space whereby anyone like you who can be able to identify and tell someone futhi nakhona remember la ekhaya kusebenza kanjani nakhona. You can see someone, but now kumele uyozama futhi utshele someone lapha e-UJ or lapha eTekisi lapho ufunda khona ukuthi hey ubani manje coach lapha yana loba kakhulu ku-supersport ubani
Kwanele khona
ukuthi kwanele ikhona intwana engiyibonile kuphi ke naye aqala ngaba ukuthi ayiletha ke simbone. So it's one of those things vele esisola ezweni. There's no proper structures whereby these kids can be identified kusase early, but that's why I find most of our players, they are just blossoming sakana 24 25. Those who sit in Ntwana, we still call them Ntwana, but not 24 25. So isimo sizithola sikuzo ngeke sisho kamaje mntaka baba. Ngiyabonga.
Itifake uLebza. Lebza, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Mr. OT, how's it?
Man, I'm good. Lebza, where do you sit on this? Bogazi should have gone to the 20 World Cup. Do you agree or disagree?
My stance is very clear. I think most people are wearing oogklaps. I'm not sure if a lot of people know what those are. You know, the things that the donkey, not even the bear, but they are the donkey. And they have that narrow perspective where they look at it from a club perspective. But think about the national pride of coming back as champions or making it to the semi-finals of the Under-20 World Cup amongst the youngsters that are playing in Europe, in whatever, with Mbogasi being the star of the team or pulling off major saves and him being seen on that world stage and it being known that he's coming with Bafana in 2026. And that for him, the mentality, knowing that he fought and he was able to take on those players and he was able to take the team through to the semi-final or to the final or even lift the trophy where possible. That would be incredible on him. His belief, his confidence would skyrocket. Not saying playing against Nigeria doesn't do that. It does, but it's completely different when you see countries that you idolize, you go fight them and you see that you can take them and it builds you up. When you go with Bafana, you have that self-belief, you have that confidence that I've done this at the Under-20, I've played this. In as much as this one is bigger, it's no different, it's the same concept. And for me, to be honest, I think more about the national pride, about the Under-20 team, about the Bafana team. That's why I don't have an issue with any of our players at Sundowns going anywhere. Like, if it's gonna better them or better the team that they're gonna be playing for, I'm all for that. And when I looked at our Under-20 team playing at AFCON, the person who was most outstanding was the goalkeeper. I mean, we were scoring, but we were being attacked most of the time, and the boy was pulling saves. Now imagine how much less work our goalkeeper would have to do if he had someone like Mbogazi in front of him, knowing that he's going to provide that assist where he gets less shots at. And it increases our chances of even improving our outcome as a country. I mean, for me, there's no small competition at the national level. Under-17 is just as important as Under-20 and the main national Bafana. So sometimes we just need to put clappism aside and be like our national team is far more important, and we need to be respected as a country out there.
But also the kids themselves, Lebza. The kids themselves. I think the reason why I'm speaking, or the reason why I speak about these things sometimes is that I want to be respectful to the kids themselves. Are we really thinking about how to maximize their talent to the point where they are world beaters? And once you do that, I think a byproduct of that would be then you get the national things working. So, for example, if in a different situation, I would be saying, Tylen Smith plays for QPR. Bogazi is captain of Pirates. For the next 5 years, that's Bafana's players.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? For the next 5 years, him, Bogazi, goalkeeper, they're going to be a core of a team that's going to be playing at every level to the point where in the next 5 years, Bogazi has now played X amount of international games, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying, Guti, I worry that we're not thinking about the next 5 years of his career, right? Right now, I don't think people are thinking about the next 5 years of Rile's career. Or when they should have been thinking about the next 5 years of his career, they weren't. You know what I mean? And now, Untwana has to find his own way, you know, and we do this with our players where they have to find their own way up to, and then maybe they might be the players that we want them to be. Whereas when you look back then, the moment they find a star, Penny scores, I think he scored 7 or 10 goals or something like that for Cape Town, King, seven stars, gone immediately. You get what I mean? Did it matter for the country right then? Did it matter for the club? It didn't matter. It was for him. Go. Kemang, Bo Quintin Fortune, Bo Sean Bartlett, Bo Stephen Pinar, all of those guys, they immediately got a chance. The moment the country saw that there's something here, the country did everything to make sure that that kid was fine, because then if you take care of Benny at 16, 17, he comes back and is the top goal scorer for Bafana ever. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm worried that like right now we're sitting in a case where we're just letting these kids, you know, die or flop or raise by themselves. And then you wonder why Temba's one is 28 when he reaches his top. You get what I mean? When we finally see him and we're like, what happened to Temba when he was 20? It's because nobody cared.
Yeah, no, true.
You know what I mean? It's because nobody, but anyway, yeah.
Another thing I want to say to Pirates fans is that this is not anything against Pirates. Pirates is not a one-man team. They've been incredible. They've been phenomenal. And I believe they'll continue to be so, whether Mbogazi is playing for the under 20 or is staying home with Pirates. Pirates will still find a way. They've got a good coach who seems to be doing well at the moment, and he will find solutions. But for me, this is more important for him to develop, to measure himself against his peers, and know that, and mentally prepare himself for next year as well. It's just my perspective. I think the clubism mentality holds us back as South Africans. I mean, in fact, in general, we want to hold things back in fear of the unknown. We've got fears of the unknown. What if this? What if that? What if that? What if he's successful? What if he comes back even more confident and plays even far much better for Pirates? What if he comes back with that experience to go have the confidence to play in the main Bafana next year? I mean, what if everything goes right? So yeah, that's just me.
Prastomi, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, bro, it.
Man, Kishapo, Prastobi. Bogazi should have gone to the Club World Cup, the Under 20 World Cup, sorry, the Under 20 World Cup. Do you agree, disagree?
Okay, let me start here. Thank you, Lebza, very much, my brother, on the input yakho. It was very important. I like umuntu okwazi uyivula le ndawo yocinga. Angayijongi in one side. Othi mna, I will be honest on my side. Mna, I would love to see uMbokazi ekule under 20 World Cup. Izizathu zam zithi, one, ngo-2004 nge-16 ka-October, uMessi break to the senior team yeBarcelona. Ngo-2005 in Netherlands, he go there and play World Cup under 20, why win. So at times, as platforms are very important for young players as far as Bombokas. And mna into ebangele ndivume is that I don't see uMbokazi edlala iPirates for his life kude phele. Ndinesizathu because ndiyambona umtshana has a potential uba angathathwa abroad. Now kukho le fear ke ngoku yoba iBafana Bafana ina-2 qualifiers ezodlala that are important. But into endinayo is that with my understanding is that i-qualifiers World Cup sidlalile so many games without him. So to miss him kwezi games yi-2 sizodlala neRwanda neZimbabwe, yifear nje engakwazi ukuyi-explaineka. Andiyazi uba isuka phi because I still see iBafana Bafana still stands a chance to qualify for World Cup without uMbokazi ngale 2 games. Secondly, if uMbokazi angayodlala ku-World Cup ye-under 20, i-exposure ye-World Cup under 20 ne-exposure ye-qualifiers of 2 games ezodlala neBafana Bafana are totally different. And i-scouts around the world, they will be there zibukela i-players. And as players, they include players that are playing all championships in England in bigger stages when you compare to South African football. Now, these are the reasons why this was a great chance for him to experience how to play abroad and compete with players as an understanding at different compared to an African football. Now, as a stage, sibalulekile for such players because these are players esithi thina, they are assets to the national team, also they are assets to i-team abadlalayo. But ke ngoku thina where does it lie into yoba uMbokazi unazo ii-wishes of going and play abroad. I-agent yakhe inazo as ambitions uba ise player iyodlala abroad. That's very important. Because even if coach Hugo Bruce angathi he does not agree at the end of the day, if uMbokazi une-ambitions that are bigger than this, ayodlala abroad, then come and represent South Africa, that's very important. And it's very rich for a player to reach that stage. That's very important. So Otim, personally, I would agree if he was there, because in that point, Lebza that when you compare under 20, when he was playing AFCON, you could tell at times as you game was supposed to as loser, but the keeper was there, was doing all the work more than anything. And the defense was relying on the Tyler Smith. Now you had a chance to have a player caliber of uMbokazi, Ubenano, Tyler Smith, including the goalkeeper. It brings more chances of going forward to the tournament series, semi-final. And that would say most teams and scouts around the world, they would notice you in that competition, because the likes of Obo Harvey Elliott, they went there under 20 bayodlala Euro, why he was playing for senior team in Liverpool. So we should not go into the mindset of undermining Indoba. Under 20, incane kune-qualifiers because he can play under 20 World Cup abuye because ayizodlala until December. Naku-national team angaphinda ayifumane a-chance to be selected because Hugo Bruce is that coach who believes in players when ayibonile potential, this player that it has a potential of reaching such heights and that player is more important to the team. So mna eyona nto benenkinga yayo is to limit such chances for a player because we're thinking no, he's a captain Pirates. So basically, and it's not about a nation patriotism. It's about your team going forward. It does not guarantee even if angahlala ngoku abe Pirates akanoyifumana injury. And as new player, they had to come in and save the team. But the importance of a player having him on that stage, it is very important because it grows the player as an individual. And as those stages are very much important for such players. Thank you.
For time, I'm going to jump in. I just want to, I saw a couple of comments here. Guys, look, from my side, personally, I don't have a side to this. But what I'm asking for is, do we care about the player or do we care about the player's talent right now? Because everything right now, we're all talking about urgency. There's an urgency to play for Bafana. I believe he's only played one game for Bafana up to this point. There's an urgency to play for the under-20s. He hasn't played for the under-20s ever. There's an urgency for him to play for Pirates. Nakon has been a year. Guys, think about it. If we rewind and we say a year and 2 months ago, right? Let's say 14 months ago, Bogazi wasn't even an idea. Bogazi, you didn't know what Bogazi was, right? From a Bafana level, from a Pirates level, from under 20 level. So I guess my criticism right now is that you sit with an incredible talent. What do you manage that talent now? And when it comes to playing abroad, I'm not really somebody who's saying that Europe, whatever. I'm saying that you need to create all of these situations for players to go and interact with the world as much as possible. Because what happens is you have an Ahly that is 15-time champions here in Africa. You have a Wydad that is six Champions Leagues. You have a Sundowns that is one of the best playing what in the world, what. Then they went to go play the world. And then it was like, wow, every pero is tala ku PSL, but ngale. ABM, could you please just mute for a second? Is ngapha. But then ufike ngale and he was looking at the big boys and it was like, okay, you can see the gulf in class. You look at a Bafana, you look at some of the teams, you now go and play a France and France beats you 5-0 and you go, the level is so tough. So whenever you've got an opportunity, do you not say, let's go interact nabo labo bantu and go see what it looks like? And unfortunately, even when you look at the best case scenario for anything, Pirates is not going to be playing international games outside of the CAF Champions League. Sundowns is not going to be playing international games outside of the Champions League, for example. Bafana is not going to be playing international. So where do we gauge? How do we know? And then the next question, the next progression of this question then becomes, why do we need to go that side then? Is it possible for Pirates to create a world-class player? Is it possible for Sundowns to create a world-class player? Is it possible for Ahly to create a world-class player that stays in the tournament and doesn't go there? I've asked before. We want our players to go that side. Why aren't we asking our teams here, okay, lento funa lo muntu ayolanda ngale. Why ninganayo lana? Why is there no pressure on Pirates to develop Rile and his abilities to a certain level where he can go out and fight the world now? Why don't we have that? But anyway, let me go to ABM. ABM,
Champ.
Ugithi mute, awumute APM.
Hi, Mara Champ. Kona manje, you just took words out of my mouth.
Sorry.
And what you was just talking about right now is something over like the past few months that I've been having Uguti. This method of centric football, even with the whole thing here, even with the whole thing of the Ballon d'Or, a lot of African players have this can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can.
This thing of African players being very obsessed with the Ballon d'Or, even though predominantly it's Eurocentric, and they're gonna pick their players and they're gonna focus on their players' style. It's more what about us? What are we doing here, grassroots, fundamentally, to build our players so that we can compete with them? But we have our own systems that are tailored to us. You understand? And with regards to Mbogazi, as to whether he must go, as to whether he should have went to the Under-20 World Cup, it's more of a case of what does he want? Because too many people here, especially on this panel, they pretty much like focus on Mbogazi as more of like an asset in the very same way that you are complaining about Uguti. Do we care about these players? We only care about these players from an extrinsic point of view. What do we want from them, and how can we extract from them up until a certain point in time? And then once you've extracted what you want to extract, we disregard them and you look for the next shining thing. So in Bogazi's case, it's more of the thing of, now what does he want personally? Does he want to go to the Under-20 World Cup and go and play against his players? Or does he want to stick it through? And by him sticking it through is him going the long route and going into the deep end. Because many people don't necessarily like realize, okay, fine, in the Under-20 World Cup, you do get the exposure and all that. But Mbogazi, even in the interviews, even with Abu Sipochen, when they comment about him, he has this bulletproof mentality. Even to the point, before the Nigeria game, he didn't even know who Victor Osman even was. So with a guy with that mentality, is he willing to go the most difficult route where he himself is going to find even more deep down what he's capable of?
But should we leave it up to him? Should it be up to him? Should it not be a concerted effort by the football fraternity to say, you know what, Ntwana, una talent, we want to maximize it. You don't know what you don't know. So we are going to fill that gap and say, this is what needs to happen, which is something that happens overseas all the time. Mbappe is not Mbappe because he wanted to be what. He's also Mbappe because at a certain age, the guys who are at the clubs identified the talent and said, listen, this is your path. You're going to walk down this path. But Tiger Woods always say that he didn't make the decision for himself to be a pro golfer. Someone else did. And when they made that decision, they made sure that the guardrails, the steps, everything was in place for him to do what he needed to do. Shouldn't we be taking that mentality with the guys? Because Mbogazi, it's been a year. I don't know what Mbogazi is thinking. He has even had time to absorb everything that's happening.
Exactly. And at this point that you mentioned, Uguti, this point that you mentioned to counter my argument, Uguti, whether he wants to choose, is a very good counter argument because yes, there are players, there are people like within the team, Jengabo Hugo Bruce, that are saying, listen, I want this guy in my team. This guy is important. Urgency where there are like certain systems put in place, Uguti, Umbogazi, in the road that they chose him to be on, it makes things easier. Just like with Tiger Woods, just like with Kylian Mbappe. But to add on to your point, Uguti, how many players have that? And how many times is that consistent? How many times is that frequent? Why is it only the case of Uguti Aburile? It's him having that lane, and Umbogazi, it's him having that lane. What about Umfundo Vilakazi? What about Usamkelo Zwane? You understand? So why isn't that frequent where you are chosen to be in a path, but then in you being chosen to be in that path, we make things easier for you.
Okay.
You understand? So yeah, man, it's tricky, this thing.
For time, I'm going to jump in. Before I let you know, I'm Chris. That was a very good point. Forget Umbogazi. Look at Mfundo Vilakazi, for example. Look at Mfundo Vilakazi. Look at Dushabalala. I'm just going to use them as examples so we take it away from Pirates and the national team. Do we genuinely believe that there's a plan for those kids? Do we genuinely believe that what has happened over the past 2 years with them and their careers was part of a plan to develop the players? Or was it just that Obrigado is very talented, the Chiefs fans love him, we're going to put him in the first team, uzohlale benchini, then every now and then sizomkhipha angene, and we're going to put him on the front page of things, and then he's going to go back. You look at Samkelo Zwane, he's sitting on the bench, people say he's got all the talent in the world, apparently, right? But then it's like, Samkelo doesn't play. He hasn't played, he hasn't done anything. We've got all these hopes and dreams for these people, but nobody's made a plan. Okay, we're going to loan you out, you're going to do this, do that, and then you're going to come back, or then Maungen uzoyenza so na so. That's why I'm saying that I know Mbogazi is the focus of the chat right now, but I'm trying to figure out, and I want us to critically analyze that thing. Have we thought deeply about where these kids need to go? Mbogazi has been flavor of the year. Flavor of the year. I asked the question, if Nda and Sesane don't get injured, and Mbogazi, and not Mbogazi, and Koki and CBC go through whatever they went through, if that doesn't happen, where is Mbogazi right now? If that doesn't happen, if it's not a bunch of lucky things that happen to put him where he is, what happens? And now we have to then ask the question, Mbogazi, is there a plan for Mbogazi going forward that has been set down with everybody, all the stakeholders, to say, Yazini, Dr. Irvin, Mpumi, you're going to sit with Hugo Bruce, you're going to sit with these people. Hugo Bruce complains all the time about some of these kids. He was complaining about Nkota going to Saudi Arabia. So then was there a situation where they all sat down and they said, okay, we're mapping out the next 5 years as a whole, as a country. And what's sad is that is what happens to rugby. That is what happens to rugby. I always use the example here where there was a documentary. Sorry for taking time, guys. There was a documentary that was done. It was called, I forgot the name of the thing, but the idea of the documentary was that you'd meet kids every 7 years. So every 7 years, they'd come back to their lives and ask them, how's it going? The thing you said when you were 7, is it now happening at 14? At 14 is happening at 21. And I'll never forget, there was a kid who played for the Springboks. I'm forgetting his name now, who ended up from 7 years old. He said, I'm going to play for the Springboks. They come back at 14 and he's already on a program that's going to put him in the varsity. And he ended up playing, there. And I'm like, are we doing this for the guys, or is it just, again, talent is going to arrive because it's talent, but nobody's going to polish it, plan for it, move it forward, develop it, do this, do that. The fact that we're asking here about does Mbogazi want it shouldn't be about Mbogazi wanting it at this point, to be honest with you. It should be about, this is a great talent, what do we do? And I don't know if they have a plan. I'm just saying, in our conversations that we're having now, are we taking into consideration the things that happened? Because again, Bogazi's only been here for a year, guys. He's played one game for Bafana. One or two games for Bafana. He's barely played 30 games for Pirates. Barely. Imagine. My icon is in that have been sitting under 17, under 20, a bench of Chiefs, a bench of what, I'm a talent and no luck, and they fall away. What happens then? But anyway, before I go too long, Chris, welcome to the show. How are you?
My brother, how are you?
Good, thanks, and you, my brother. Where do you fall? Where do you fall on this?
You know what I want to do, my brother? Ne? I want me and you to have a conversation. We are worried about the under 20. Does SAFA take under 20 serious?
No.
I'll start a for me now. Does
No.
SAFA take under 20 serious?
No.
How did they get to the cup that they played now? Bahambengani baf. Sharp. And the officials bahambengani?
Play.
Sharp. Now me and you are agreeing. Do you know a player called Lynch Pooley? If you know soccer, you will know Lynch.
Yeah.
Do you know Lynch?
Yeah.
Lynch Pooley, do you know how many national teams has he captained?
I think all of the juniors.
A boy from Mahogwe, from my hood, from Mahike. Lynch Pooley was captain of under 17. He was captain of under 20. He was captain of under 23. Have you ever seen him wearing a Bafana jersey?
No.
Now me and you are having a conversation, man. Now we go to these things. If you are scouted at under 20 level and you come from Africa, they will want to take you to La Masia. You know, I mean, all those development
it will
things.
even be late for that.
That's where they wanted to take Umbokazi is a generational talent. I am willing to bet my last R1 to say Ulamini Yamal angabhekana noMbokazi kanje ngeke andlule. Umbokazi akasaba umunye umfana womunye umuzi. Mbokazi is doing a great job for the national team right now. He was not there a couple of months ago, but now he's there. And we are nurturing him to be the next OJ Mabizela. Play him in the first team. If you are scouted at under 20, they don't take you serious. They take you as a small boy who comes from, you know, then they still want to say that they want to develop you.
Yeah. Okay, wait.
Against.
Before you go too far, what happened to OJ?
OJ was not a product of development. He had his own issues. And he came from a better environment compared to Upagaka. You know, Brane, before I joined your life, I was watching his stories about Pagaka, where he came from and how serious he was about football and how he made football his priority as a product that will take him out of poverty, as a product that will take him out of all this social ills and everything and the situation Yagubo. Now he's a breadwinner endly. Umbokazi is playing a crucial role at Pirates. Mebra, how big is the Pirate squad?
It's very big.
Umbokazi goes to the under 20 World Cup.
Yeah.
Sisane cements his place at Pirates. Nda cement his place at Pirates. Barkimangu, Siema cement his place at Pirates defense. Where will Umbogazi play? Why would you change a winning formula to accommodate somebody who went to the under 20 games? So we are sitting here. All 167. No.
Yeah, God. Yeah.
All 167 of us who are here, we take the under 20 team very serious. Jordaan doesn't take it serious. The SAFA officials don't take that team serious to a point that they are paying the coach 30,000 Imali year stipend.
No bonus.
They don't take it serious. No bonus. And you know what was very frustrating? There's a boy who came from the academia, Yaga Farouk Khan. You remember that boy who was from the Farouk Khan game? The Farouk Khan Ati Obrigado Begang Tengelugusha. Why would Obrigado still be buying them food if Safa was providing food? No, when I put money, please can we be serious?
Yeah.
As a nation, all 167 of us, why would a fellow team player want to buy me food when we are being provided food? We are sitting here, all 167 of us, we are taking the under 20 World Cup serious. Ishman, can somebody mute? Danny Jordaan does not take it serious. All the SAFA officials don't take it serious. Their coach is not even taken serious. Everything around that team is not taken serious. Mbogazi. You know, now just to bring some light, you remember that goal that Unkota scored? Him and Udugudugu were crying. If you remember the clip.
Yeah.
Do you know that Umbogazi was not even part of that Pirates team yet? He was still a Susuwe. When nobody looked at him.
Yeah.
He was not even part of the Pirates development.
Yeah.
And that's not a long time ago. Umbogazi Hagana ne like official matches in the PSL. He does not even have 6 months in the PSL. He doesn't have. I agree with you. He was by luck. He was by chance. The shining stars were on his side. No, he wasn't. He was not He was not
for
in that
time.
game, and he was not even signed for.
For time, now, I just wanted to very quickly. I just want to ask because I want to ask you a question. I wanted to ask you when you're talking about Old John. The reason why I asked you what happened with Old John is I feel as though that is the byproduct of not structuring someone's future. And what I'm worried about is that forget about Pirates. That's why forget about Pirates. Pirates, abo Lodge, bandlule khona, ngiyayibona Sundowns, abo Zwane. I'm even going up to the top of Ahly and all of those guys. What is the utility of being the great player at an African club? Because a lot of them, Egypt never benefited from Al-Ahly's dominance. When they finally went out into the world, they got beaten. Bafana, when they finally went out into the world, they got beaten. We have not created a world-class player outside of maybe Benny McCarthy, who's got a UEFA Champions League, but again, they'll say Eurocentric. But we haven't created those type of players at a high rate. So him staying here, him doing what benefit does it give you? And I guess my issue with what's happening is that guys, bo Pirates, bo Sundowns, bo Chiefs, bo Al-Ahly, bo Wydad, bo Banbani. Yo, guys, please, who's oh, is it Chris? Chris, please.
No, my brother, you know, now this takes us back to our first question. You remember the first question I asked you when I got into the live? Where is Lynch Pule? Did Lynch Pule ever go to Europe?
No.
Lynch Pullen never went to Europe. He was a domestic player. We chapela the black label kola palaka kwa koma hikeng. Now,
Okay.
he never went anywhere. He never went anywhere. Playing for the under 20 does not guarantee you success. Playing in the national team for under 20 does not guarantee you success. What I'm
Neither does
simply saying
Bafana.
it opens doors.
Which doors? For who?
Lucas Radebe.
Khatebe was already gone by that time.
No, but he started playing in the national team when the national team started.
For sure, but he was already gone by then.
No, but he played for Bafana before he went to Europe.
Did that open the door? Wait, did that open the door, or was it a friendly between Chiefs and those guys?
No, I'm talking about Lucas Radebe.
The same one. The story goes that he was sold that side, similar to Bobogani Kumal. No, I'm saying Bobogani Kumal.
He was not sold.
No, listen to what I'm saying. It
Lucas
wasn't.
Radebe was sent
With Philemon Masina.
Was sent to be his companion overseas.
Yes, because listen what I'm saying.
Buy one get one free.
But it didn't come from the national team. It came from the club asking their club, Singatataban. It didn't come from national team. So Bafana doesn't open doors either.
But when you play for the national team, anyway, there are players who were scouted before they even played for Bafana. Lyle Foster was taken before he even played for Bafana.
No, 100%. I'm just asking you on that point where you said
play in the PSL. You would rather play in the PSL than go play in the second division in Belgium. My opinion.
No. But I'm
saying now. Okay,
I'm asking you.
Tell you now,
I'm asking you on the point. The point you were saying about Bafana open doors. I want us to stick there because I think even in the comments there is an idea that playing for the national team will open more doors than under 20, for example. So I just want to can we stick there and say which doors for a player have been opened by Bafana so that at the very least we can strengthen that point.
But at the top of my head, I will think of one, then I will come back to you. But what I'm simply saying is right now with the current form Gambogas, Lamine Yamal, Nyegan Hule Gumbogas, Agam Sabu Munyumfad. Okay, fine, please, can I tell you the players that won't go past Gumbogas? Lewandowski won't pass.
Yeah.
Lamine Yamal won't pass. Ubatuban Futi, Haaland won't pass. Mahmoud Salah won't pass.
Okay, but for time.
Who else?
For time though, before retirement.
What I'm saying is,
yeah.
When before divert abafo, the only time if Safa was taking the under 20 team serious, I would gladly agree and say, Bafo, go and play for the under 20. It's a great platform. It's a great what. But what I'm simply saying is, teams can scout you directly from your team.
Yeah.
And you go play in Europe. Yeah. And right now, Hugo Bruce, coach.
But for time, please. For time. Last setting for time.
Okay, please.
To respect the others.
Yes. All the coaches that have seen Umbogazi play,
amen,
they are raving about him right now wherever they are. To say there is a great prospect in South Africa, he will be in La Liga soon. Thank you.
Let me go to Mulebu. Mulebu, welcome to the show. How are you? Mulebu,
Good, my brother.
I'm good, thanks, man. Where do you sit on this discussion?
Like, brother, ke kwele monno mongwe a bolela ka parke tla busy ka regarding Mbogazi. For now, like how can you not think about Tlapism or compare Mutwaloreng? Like, is probably the best defender in the country. Onoko Muncha Mola, Otsamae, Ayo Raloka, like under 20. Like, if you compare under 20 qualification ja World Cup and then AFCON, like some of AFCON is very close. I think in December AFCON. I believe AFCON in more eyeballs than under 20. Obviously, Mbagazi is going to be a starter go AFCON. Di club tse batho ba bolelang ka tsona o ra re taba di sa lebelela Mbogaza a raloka AFCON. And then secondly, if we are anakuwe a fite a hobale bo sesane ba boye, there's no way coach ya rena e tlo fita ya memela a fola ya mo tsentsha same time. Is going to lose his position go Pirates. So
haka hobala ko AFCON.
He is going to get injured playing against the best. He must get injured there, not to go.
No, Mara will say Sunny stop because injury leko AFCON. Won't it be the same?
But I get revelela ka hore Mboga sentse abeli eyeballs mo yena or akumane better teams.
No. Kubutaka injury. I mean, if wa hobala ko under 20, says Bosesane will come in and he won't get back in. Wouldn't be the same hobala ko AFCON or hobala ko qualifier ena.
But yes, football you can get hit. I get. You are chabili o ka hobala, but don't you think you must get a team etamnya Europe? I get so now point for now is better araloke AFCON. If like eyeballs but what mona ko AFCON more than ba mona leko under 20.
Like, okay, can I ask you this? Where do you think more scouting is going to happen? Under 20 or AFCON? Besides eyeballs.
The scout trading go under 20, but more eyeballs, more about too much. Because like we must be honest, it matters about like team trading the players, the other scouts, the AFCON. The coaches side top team AFCON. I don't think the players the coaches side top team under 20. I don't believe that.
No, I'm saying what are the eyeballs doing? So at a youth tournament, the eyeballs, this scouter for youth, they're scouting actively for under 20. And I'm not saying that he must go. I'm just saying the eyeballs at an under 20 and the eyeballs at an AFCON, the different. The eyeballs at an under 20 are maybe forced to go look for talent. They're looking for young players. They're looking for the next mang. Whereas at an AFCON, you could still be scouted. Marako AFCON, Bosadio Mane, Bob Salah, those guys they already have teams. Are there people looking for youngsters specifically for that?
No, they are not specifically looking for youngsters, but they are looking for the best players at AFCON. So, I believe, but and yes, age matters with those teams. Europe. Zungu abulela ka yona re o ile kwale I am 24 my brother you're old.
They're too old.
So hence I'm saying I don't want to see the guy losing his starting 11 in Orlando Pirates, which e ka mmušetša morao nyana ka career yae for nna. Yes, also, he's still young, he can still get his chances, but he has a chance right now. I feel like there's no need for Yena to go back, because I feel like going to play under 19 World Cup is a little bit step back. And then playing against but player in the future might help him. Yes, he has a little bit of a point there. But I feel like him playing AFCON and probably World Cup, because I think we are going to the World Cup. So, like, momentum is everything in football. Umtita is on form, he has momentum. So I believe it's better or if we are hobala, maybe hobale adlala di game jana ju. Ke mo ile re like ke point ya ka nna eno.
Okay. No, Molevo, thank you so much for joining. Let me go to Mzegs. Mzegs, welcome. Where do you sit on this topic?
Greetings to you, sir, and thank you for accepting me in your space.
No stress,
and
no stress.
To everyone. Hey, what is the purpose of a junior level? Isn't it to prepare juniors so that when they go to the senior level, they are prepared, fully prepared? Now, Mbogazi has already made it in a senior level. To take Mbogazi back to under 20, you're closing doors for another potential player that we can prepare for Uguti Idlale senior level.
Does
Now,
the pipeline
Mbogazi has
exist?
already been.
Before we move on, I want to ask you about that. We haven't seen players come from under 20 to Bafana. So does the pipeline exist? Separate question.
We've seen players. We've seen players coming from under 23 to Bafana. Under 20, yes, I may agree with you. Under 23, yes, we've seen them. Your Matthew Booth, your Penny McCarthy, your Chabupule, your Steve Likwelia, there's a lot of them when we had the under 23 that played on under 23, and then they were promoted to a senior level.
Oh, Madam Zakes, that's 20 years ago. That's 20 years ago. Is it still the same now?
No. Yeah, but no. But your question was, did we ever have a player from a junior level to senior level?
No. I mean the pipeline now. Yes. So I'm meaning even in the under 20 squad right now, is there a player that's knocking on Bafana's? It's not to add on to the point. I was asking a separate question. That is there a player right now, under 20, who's knocking on the door for Bafana?
Let's watch them go World Cup and conclude on that one.
Okay.
Let's watch them and then we can say, okay, there's the boy that is knocking on Bafana. They haven't played the World Cup. Let's watch them and then can see.
But they won the AFCON, Marab Zigs.
Yeah, we might maybe after this World Cup we can say, yeah, Mfundo Vilakazi, yeah, or whoever, Let's just watch the World Cup. But on this one of Mbogazi has already been promoted. Give another youngster to play there in the World Cup, because Mbogazi has already made it with senior level. Why do we have? Okay, coming to scouting. A lot of players that were scouted that played in big leagues abroad, it's not because they played under 20. No, it's because they played your Champions League, your Magfish, they played Champions League, they played AFCON, they played your World Cup. That's where now teams from higher leagues saw them. So in terms of scouting, surely Mbogazi, when it goes to AFCON, you will be scouted.
Which players were scouted from an AFCON? From our generations, the golden ones?
All of them that played abroad, your Vetes, Mark Fish, your Sean Bartlett, your Filma Singer, your Dr. Kumalo, your all of them that played abroad.
Okay.
Remember, you see, they played 96, and then that's where they were. The team saw them. Yeah, we can sign these players. So yeah, so with Umbogazi, he's already made it to senior level. So why must he go to under 20? If the reason is that it would strengthen the under 20 to be able to compete and win that World Cup, it's something else, you know. But I feel since he has already made it on the senior level, then what's the point of taking him back? Why are we having junior levels? Aren't we preparing these boys so that for the future, so that when they go to Bafana, isn't that the whole point of having your under 17s, your under 20s? Isn't it to prepare them for senior level? Now your Mufukings, your Mbogas have already made it on a senior level. So why must they go? What would be the reason for us to take them to under 20?
Have they made it in the world?
They are yet to make it in the world, but they are regulars in Bafana.
No. I'm asking. The question I'm asking is, okay, let's say under 17, under 20 gets you ready for Bafana or the top level, but then does it stop there? So does Relay, does Mbogazi, do they play in the world now? Do they play that much in the world? I'm just asking other questions here, because is there utility to being Bafana first team that helps you with your career go somewhere for them?
It helps you a lot. Mbogazi and Relay, the fact is that they are still playing for the Orlando Pirates. They are yet to play AFCON. They haven't played the AFCON. But the fact is that they are regulars in Bafana. We cannot say they are still Basa canvas to get in there. Already Bruce has mentioned it. These are his future. So they are regulars in Bafana. And then they are yet to play in this high competition AFCON. Let's watch AFCON, how they do. Let's watch World Cup, how they do. And then we can ask those questions, Oguti. Can we say they are ready to play amongst the best of the world?
I think the reason why I'm asking, and maybe this is not outside of Bafana and Pirates, African J, right? It's very few players that have gone on to make a mark on the world that were in the situation that Mbogazi, Relay, and those guys are in right now. When you speak about that golden generation of the guys back then, a lot of them left when they were just 16, 17, 18, and they didn't really interact with our football that much in terms of playing in our football for a long time, or playing in our football, or captaining the teams and doing that. A lot of them have 1 or 2 seasons under their belt in terms of PSL, even if that. So I guess my question is, I understand everything that we're saying about him. He's the captain of this. Shouldn't we be granting these players as many opportunities to interact with the world as we can? So it's not that you have to pick between under 20 AFCON and World Cup. I think it would be cool if Mbogazi, for example, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong, please, but it would be cool for Mbogazi to interact with the world more often in terms of maybe the under 20s. You go to your AFCON, you go to the World Cup, and you play at each of these levels full on, so that by the time it comes end of World Cup, you've now played X amount of games against everybody in the world. Because even Bafana, I asked the question, Yoguti, when last did Bafana play a top 30 country in the world? And how often do we play them in order for us to gauge where Bafana is with the world, to gauge even Africa sometimes, and it might even surprise us. Senegal beat England 3-1. So, for example, does it help to play for Bafana?
Yes.
Does it help to play for all of these things in terms of a player's development, the player themselves? Because Bo Penny,
I
Bo
hear
Stephen
you.
Pienaar, Bo Quinton Fortune, I think they gained from having played high-level games overseas. That's why we kept calling them.
I hear you. Remember, as the speaker previously mentioned that Umbogazi has just came in. I just want to stick on this topic of Umbogazi. You know, Umbogazi has just came in. It's not I create in 12 months. Now, remember when you play these World Cup qualifiers, the coaches, they know what they have to watch each and every game that is played by each and every country because it's a potential opponent. They watch these games. These World Cup qualifiers, top people, they watch these games. They watch these teams that have a potential of qualifying so that when they meet, they have a full knowledge of those teams. Now, the point is, Mbogazi, when they were playing in Nigeria, a lot of top people, they did see that game. So Mbogazi is exposed. A lot of people know about Mbogazi and then they are scouting him. They just want to see him play more games. So yes, it exposes you, even if it's yet to Utabo Mbogazi Batale, the real now World Cup, the real AFCON, but already people are aware of him. Our scouters are following him. So yes, potential is there.
Mara, when we say these things, guys, I'm not saying it's wrong or right, but I'm just saying, when has that, how many qualifiers have we played? In the history of Bafana, how many players were scouted from those things? We've had wonder boys and wonder kids and stuff. I don't know, maybe it's just me.
Yeah, but now, how many qualifiers as under 20 World Cups have we played? How many players have been scouted there? So
we've never been to a World Cup. We've never been to a World Cup.
Then you cannot conclude by...
No, I'm not concluding. This is what I'm saying. I'm not saying that the World Cup will do it. My argument here is people in the comments are saying under 20 World Cup will not give exposure. So now I'm asking, okay, the other things that you have mentioned, when have they given the exposure to the level that you guys are speaking about in order for you to say under 20 doesn't? I'm not for under 20. I just want us to strengthen our arguments about when we're saying
exposure.
Some things.
No, I disagree with those who are saying if you play in the under 20 World Cup, it won't give you exposure.
You see,
I totally disagree. I totally disagree. A good player is a good player. You know, even if it's under 17, a good player is a good player. Even if it's AFCON, a good player is a good player. Exposure in terms of being scouted. If it's under 20 years, you can be scouted on. I disagree with those that you won't give him exposure. I mean, for the fact that the whole continent knows about under 20 World Cup, the whole continent will be watching these games, will be seeing potential players. But in terms of agreeing that he should go to under 20, I disagree. The boy has already made it on a senior level. There's no point of going to under 20. Open space for other potential players. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Zex. Let me go to Stereophonic. Stereophonic, hey, it's our naki kwaleka malume kutso. Stereophonic, welcome, my brother. Prophet Stereophonic, John Stereophonic.
Prophet John Stereophonic carry live game today. Look, I love this topic, but here's some questions I want to ask you.
Okay.
How old is Yamin Lamar?
18, isn't he?
Right. Why wasn't he called up for Spain under 21, which happened just last season, just now in June?
Yeah, playing at a high level.
Exactly. And I'm not saying that maybe I'm not okay. No, let me not say we compare under 20 World Cup to AFCON. It's different levels because of it's a youth tournament and that it's a senior tournament. I, for one, believe that Mbogazi shouldn't have gone to under 20 because already he's an established senior player.
Can I ask you a question?
And okay, shoot.
Is there a higher level than Barcelona?
Hey, I knew you were gonna bring up Corey. He's in Europe, we're in Africa.
No, I'm just asking.
Pirates is not Barcelona, even though they want to believe so. But I would say this. If you look at players that have came from under 20 World Cup and have gone to the senior stage, these are players that have been literally on the fringe. They have not been starters. Secondly, and let me finish here. Let me land. When you look at players that have been scouted from under 20 to maybe big clubs or just European clubs, in most cases, it's not like they are a shoe-in to be in the senior team. So, for instance, now you have Chandra Campbell now at Bruges. He's under 20. But because and it's not even within that window where clubs are obliged to release a player. It means they see this guy to be a person that will play in the senior side.
True.
So all I'm saying is that I would treat whoever is in the fringes but knows is a quality youth player, would use the under 20 to have not only the local club scout you but also any scouts from abroad to watch you. But if you're a senior established player, because once you're scouted at AFCON, literally the club that's scouting you are looking for that finished product. They're not looking for a player to develop. Go on.
Is that a pro or a con for Mbogazi?
For Mbogazi,
is it a pro or con?
It cannot be a con. I think now for Mbogazi is for him to just build on. We still have the qualifiers. If he gets to the World Cup, it's an opportunity to be seen. So, and then there's still the AFCON, which I understand it doesn't have a global attention. It doesn't, unfortunately. But, you know, once you put in a good performance, at some point you're about to gain attention. More especially if you're facing African players that are known by Europeans and you actually manage to stop them. There's no way that they won't give attention.
You guys keep saying that. Okay, can I get some examples, please, guys? Guys, we keep saying this, and I don't know, but I'm just like, I don't like blanket statements.
Okay, fine. Hence, I could say it's a double-edged sword from Mbogazi. But I still feel maybe because I'm probably more biased to the clubs rather than to the national team. More especially because it's under 20, and already now he's a regular first team player. He's already in the senior national team. So I'm even looking at even I'm looking at even the national teams that are playing there. I know for sure, whichever country you look at and know that it's a popular senior team country, and you look at their youth team, you wouldn't know all these players. And you even find
that's where they get found, though. Would you? Okay. Let me ask you this question, and there's no right or wrong answer, please, guys. I see the comment. Would you rather be a fringe player at a bigger European club or be a starter for Pirates?
Lunch bar, obvious. A French player at a big club, because then can say what there's a pathway that I can get to get into the senior side. If the system works or if I work hard enough. Then with Pirates, I still have to work extra hard to try and to get to be seen. So yeah, I guess but still, for Mbogazi, unfortunately for him, I'm both.
Stereophonic? Okay, I think Groove took over there. How Maruchon Stereophonic, a prophet too. We are Groove. Yeah, guys. Okay, like I was saying, before I let in Malume Kuto, my whole thing here is that there's a lot of assumptions we're making, both ways, and again, I don't think I've seen somebody explain we've had the conversation now, we're explaining what is good for Mbogazi. So, for example, my argument for the under 20 is that if Mbogazi is a generational talent and he goes to face other under 20s and he outshines them, there would be fire if Mbogazi could be put on the same pedestals that Abo Messi and those guys were put on in that tournament. Because then, if it's that easy, you should be head and shoulders above everybody. And now at a tournament where people should already be looking for youth, they're looking to scout these guys, they're looking to bring these guys, they're looking to do that. If you shine there, it's an easier path than having to go and face, Bohaland. Haaland, did they even qualify? Anyway, having to go face those guys and have to prove yourself there through there. There's still eyes, there's still exposure. But an easier path, if I am already that strong, would be to go this side and say, no, Nshain Tangazame from around the world scouts are watching because they're all looking for the next youth product. I can put my name in the same conversations as some of the other previous under 17, under 20 people that everybody points at, and then possibly move to a certain place from there, if that makes sense. So you can make the argument, and I wish somebody would, you could make the argument that, okay, leave the under 20, go to an AFCON, go to a World Cup, and then from that point of view, maybe it works out. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm saying, but let me go to Malibu Kuto.
Oti, ufuna ukusabotage. How are you?
No, that's why.
No, I will tell you, it's from a selfish perspective.
Yeah.
And no other perspective. But how are you? Gimnat. Can I just strengthen your point, right? There are other factors that would contribute to this. Who was the defender of the tournament, Junior AFCON?
This one now?
Yeah.
Wasn't it Tylon?
What was he playing for?
Stellenbosch DDC.
Where is he now?
QPR.
To strengthen your point, these younger tournaments, the emphasis is not as high. If Kenya a dope performance, you could make it overseas within a blink of an eye. So had Mbogazi maybe went and played that AFCON, I'm not saying it was his spot, but probably he could have been a QPR. With junior tournaments, the scouts, they out for blood. They are out there, got business. They looking the agent, they looking for that young talent. So I feel that Mbogazi, with all the talent that he has, one thing that he needs is a dope agent. An agent with a proper web in terms of contacts and connects. The talent is there, the ability is there. The only thing that's missing is an agent that can connect Pirates to the world. Or rather, get the world to understand Pirates' point of view when it comes to the boy. And I think a performance at the World Cup would assist that. I think that's the struggle more really right now, is that Pirates has a view on Urele that the world doesn't understand, that the world does not have proof of. But if Urele was to do what he's doing on a world stage, then it would be easier for Lama team to say, actually, we see why you're requesting an extra 10 million when we're saying to you, Torang 30, and you're like, guys, this is worth 40. We understand now because Urele has now done it on a world stage. And when we talk about the world stage, like you mentioned, under 20 is an easier world stage compared to the actual World Cup, where now you're going to face Uhakimi,
or if you're gonna say Bafana beat Morocco, you're gonna face Utembele and turn or who's that guy? Mbappe and turn into a Nico movie, and then it's chai for you. Sekphelile. So I do get where you're coming from. And hey, Pirates, unfortunately now, Mr. Uti, they're also looking out for themselves.
100%. 100%.
We really want this league, and we really want this kind of game. Maybe it's on this Champions League.
Yeah.
And Umbogazi looks like he's going to give it to us at the moment. He's doing very well. Once Mr. Uti. So I get both sides. And Konimali Umbogazi. If I think from a business perspective, Paris should have allowed Umbogazi to go to the World Cup, considering that Unda Nosesane look like they're ready to play. Usbis is also on the bench. So Usiema can partner Usesane, Unda, or Usbis. I don't think that would be a loss. Yes, Umbogazi is fantastic, but would still have, if we had Unda, Mr. Uti, Nosesane, or Unda, Nosiema right now, I think we're good. Tatu Umbogazi, umise ku World Cup, uthole imali yakho.
So what do you say the other way around? So what do you say to the people that say you're going backwards? He's already a first-team player. He's risking his spot at Pirates. If it doesn't work out and he comes back home, he might be coming back home to the bench. We've seen other players, maybe go Bafana, who were stars at some point knocking on the door. Then they made a move and it changed everything for them. What would you say then?
I would say the age factor comes into play to say if he moves now. Plus, I don't like what's happening with him in terms of social media. I see he's attracting the wrong crowd. They want this shine, this glory that he has. But at his age, he's 20. I think he would adapt better than a Keegan Dolly, a Bongane Zungu, a Pesitao, who moved, I think, on the wrong side of 25. You understand? Your Bernard Parkers. I think he'd be more on your Perry McCarthy, your who are these, your Lyle Foster type of vibe on the right side of 25. You understand? And OT, I like what someone just pointed out, and I remember, I think it's Hugo Pros who said, guys, I need him for the qualifiers. There are qualifiers that are coming up that are going to play during the tournament, you understand? So there's that too. For Bafana, I don't think we have enough, Mr. OT, that we can easily bring in. But defenders are pelile. So I get both sides of the story.
Ngeza Nokona, man, he's been holding it down.
Bakorile lapha. Bakorile ungeza nababhekile. Bakorile phezu kwekhanda lakhe. So I do understand all sides.
Yeah.
Umbogazi must just get a great agent at this moment, Mr. OT. He needs...
I just want to ask you two questions. Number one, do you think that we have scaffolding, protection around these players? So you look at Mbogazi, you speak about his social media. Isn't part of the development and the protection of him to make sure that those things don't happen too? I was asking about old John, that old John was a star or whatever, but then they didn't put the protection around him to make sure that that's fine, number one. And then number two, why aren't we creating world-class players in-house, Africa? So that even in this conversation, I can stand fully and say, Mbogazi at Pirates is better than... Mbogazi at Pirates' career prospects are better at Pirates than Lamine Yamal at Barcelona.
Iron sharpens iron, in Linda Pup's voice. Iron sharpens iron, Mr. Uti. And he would be better served playing against top-notch competition rather than playing against Lama players. I want to play with PSL Hensan. I want to praise. Uyambona lapha ugoalkeeper uphumile uDupreez Kamela for a throw in. So such things, Mbogazi doesn't have to think as much when he's facing such people. He knows ukuthi mekefaka umzimba bayabaleka. I would like to see him against an Adama Traore. I think that would develop his game to say, akusinjalo kumele ngifake umzimba, you understand? There are other ways of approaching it. You asked me something else, Mr. Oti. It just
Oh no, I was asking about the protection. Isn't that part of development? To say it's not just about ground Niguti. It's also about, okay, we need to put rules and regulations around these players to make sure Guti, social media, the things that maybe happen to old John don't happen, and we're not leaving it up to the players.
Unfortunately, football sometimes is not realistic. Yes, we need Kanaking. The only way we can do it is through legislation. But if football is not realistic, Mr. Uti. Take a 33-year-old. I was telling some other guy, a 33-year-old Mr. Uti. Mara wathi umkhulu ebholeni, but umkhulu le. So that aspect, a 20-year-old Mr. Uti or a 19-year-old is a high school child. Obviously, you can't expect that person to make sound decisions around money. Because abantwana bebayikhothane Mr. Uti baphethe 2000 abayitshontshe from wherever bathenga ama-ultra mil bawathela phansi. What more about these ones, Mr. Uti abaphethe ama-100,000? Uyayibona into encane yenzeni unkotha? Bayinikisa i-non-fee yafaka ama-gold umlomo wonke. Uyabona ukuthi umntwana lo. This is a real child. Bamnike nje 200,000 wathatha 100,000 ayifaka emlomeni. Sekahlala smilile manje. So that aspect of football, I think, iyasirobha from reality to understand that these are kids. These, in as much as Umboga's TLP looks big on the field, but the brains, the decision making, and I say this with the utmost respect, is not at the level of how we want to treat them. It's not, I mean,
even with us with money, I always say, even adults, if I could give you 2 million right now,
listen,
I know myself, Hashem, that thing would be boxed so recklessly.
Listen, Mr. Oti, can you win what 22 million or beg a man to Mazanam like that film? What the sushi pays? Wow, we understand. So, and it's just barking, just an assumption. It's not an actual 100K, but yeah, yes. So what I'm saying is, Oti, if we are saying I'm adults would crack with that amount of money, what more about kids? You understand? Maybe they need to be guided into it slowly. Once what Mr. Uti, not necessarily Uti. I'm saying Uti bangabanigi at all, or babaniga ama 10,000, ama 50,000. No. Yeah, but what I'm saying is they need to be educated. Uti, what's going to happen right now is too different. That's why I want Umbogazi to run away, Mr. Uti. I'm a slave queen of South Africa. I am full boy. As a winner, I think I'm bona sega fresh card. Umbogazi because I'm a candle impunga nandaba. Amaka Umbogazi. These days sega fresh card. Namasogisa ke sega wagoca ngeindlela ngiyabona ukuthi Umbogazi akasana focus. Umbogazi mpeka le picture ibeke la Mr. Uti. Umbogazi kashama fresh card. Amasle queen azocorrupta lo boy. Mara ifoni ngenelela. Singibeke Mr. Uti. Ngiyabonga.
No, thank you, whatever good. So, yo guys, I'm also I haven't stayed this long before. Okay, here's what I'll say to close off. The question I'm asking is not for the kid. It's not for the clubs, it's not for whatever. So those are saying Chiefs fans, and Tonamina, I asked the same thing about Umtu Shabalal. I said the same thing about Umtu. You're putting him in the first team, you're putting pressure on his shoulders, he hasn't developed, we go by Salinyani, now your player's not going to go past a certain point because you said he was a star. And you kept him star status instead of realizing that there's many steps that he skipped and now he's been placed into that place. I asked the same thing about Samgelo Zwane, I asked the same thing about Bumfundo. I asked the same thing, for those who don't know, I asked the same thing about why Velepai and Bartman are joining Chiefs. I think that's the worst decision you could make as a kid, right? Right now. Worst decision you could make. My worry here is honestly for the development of our future players, the development of these kids, because what's happening is that you have to be lucky. You have to be lucky in order to get there. If Bogazi is not lucky, we don't see him. If Bogazi is not lucky, there's no plan now. There's no national team. There's no this, there's no that, there's no that. He was lucky that there were a couple of injuries and a coach that had tenure who was bringing in kids. Now think about all the Mbogazis that exist in the world that have not been touched as Bazi because they were not lucky. And think about what you could do with the talent of Mbogazi going forward. If you again don't think of it as lucky, plan the path. We watch about Kylian Mbappe, we watch about Henry used to say at the academy where he was, they didn't allow them to do anything but football. That meant any decisions that had to be made, that anything that had to happen was made by the people who are growing you guys. Then we see these guys become stars on the world stage. I asked the same thing, guys, about Rile. Where I'm worried about Rile. Because he was at the cusp of something. He could end up being a local superstar. It's not bad when you look at it, but we lose somebody who could have helped us on the world stage. I mean, I'm not even talking about going Eurocentric when I speak about this thing. I'm talking about Eurocentric because my view of development is like this, guys. My view of development is like this. At a position, I'm a striker. Let's say I'm a striker. Natural talent, let's say there's 10 things that you need to have if you're a striker at the highest level. Natural talent will give you 5. Natural talent. But at the highest level, it's not your natural talent that wins out. It's because there's guys who have been taught 2 or 3 of more of these things. So, Mabakbona, they've got more weapons than you have. So minankalela logo kuti right now usikhuluma ngombokazi, he's a star, he's great, he's everything. Outside of the conversation we're having, he's a star, he's everything. Right now, he's physical. Uyamakha uyapasa. What's the difference between Bogazi and Virgil van Dijk? If not the path. And if we're not careful with these players, you kill them. I'm asking about old John Mabizela because we know how old John Mabizela's story ended. Ubusta, ubukhumbulekaya, spending the monies. Guys, Obano Velile was here. Guys, he was talking about contracts. I've seen a contract, yala, and I've seen a contract angal. I kid you not. Our contracts are very sparse. Ngale, every single thing is every single thing. Just on contractual basis. Just on if you mess this up on a very little thing, you are out. Like they've got I think it was the difference was I saw a 7-page contract Yalana and I saw a 23-page contract Angal. And that is what we need to do with these kids. Bogazi should be protected now. I remember I was here and I was like, I saw him on a live. Some guy was with him taking a live or whatever, and I was like, yeah, if I was Pirates, I would have been like, hey, my dog, are we accounting for what you're doing right now? Are we accounting for this? Are we accounting utudlani? Are we accounting utuenzani? Do you have extra time with the defensive coach? Do you have extra time with this? Do you have video sessions? Are we taking you overseas to go and input yourself in one of these teams for a month or whatever? Are we doing the things that are going to make Bogazi go from a really good raw talent to being a guy who is full? You ask me, guys, you're sitting here talking about Lamine Yamal. You guys are saying, why isn't Lamine Yamal playing for Spain? Lamine Yamal was Was he the top goal scorer, the youngest ever scorer? He's got a finals in the Euros, let's say. In the Euros. The development train of where Yamal is versus where Bogazi is completely different. And it just so happens that Yamal was lucky enough to be at La Masia, which is a place that has created world stars. Not Tina, world stars. So at him at 18, Bogazi, it's light years difference. And unfortunately, right now, which is another question I ask, our Pirates can't. Our Pirates can't. No, I don't wanna tell you. I don't wanna tell you that I can't tell you the contract, the person whose contract it is. But it's 2 contracts of players that you know. But anyway, you're trying to get Bogazi to that level, and unfortunately, that level lives overseas right now. Remember, it's a question I asked. I saw somebody saying, don't bring in Chiefs. I was saying, Chiefs prides itself on world-class facilities. They were saying, Ahly came here, they were shocked. We've got cold, ... And then I look at them and I ask the question, with those world-class facilities, how many world-class players have come from there? We can't be talking resources with some of the clubs. We can't be talking ability with some of these clubs. That's why in the example that I used, I said, on the African continent, going up to Ahly, when Ahly was at its peak, how many World Cups did Egypt get to a quarterfinal of? All of the countries that have been here, all of the African countries that have done well, have to look at everybody else outside. Everybody else outside. You have to send Sadio Mane away. Sadio Mane is not playing in Senegal. John Obi Mikel is not playing in Nigeria. Mohamed Salah, as far as I know, has not touched a football in the Egyptian top league. So is it fair to say that if we want Bogazi to get to that level, he has to go? Unfortunately, guys. Pirates, Nabo Chiefs, if we want that guy to be top. And the thing I was saying here was not necessarily to pick sides. Again, I saw you guys were picking the side, Yabo World Cup 2026, whatever. And then I said, okay, the pros of this side is that he's going to go, if he's that good, he's going to go play kids that are below him in a tournament where scouts are already looking. They're searching for the best. And if he plays really well to the level that we're saying here, at that point, when he's defender of the tournament, that is a place where a Messi was. And now, even when they look at you, they go, that is the best young player in Africa. We've seen him, we were looking. There was that kid from La Masia who we were touting to be the next Messi. There was a kid who were touting for Arsenal who's meant to make it into the team. There's a kid from Flamengo who was so Yes, this is possibly one of the best young players in the world. Not to say that you can't do that at a full World Cup, but at a full World Cup, you are playing finished products of players at the highest level. It's harder to shine. Not that he wouldn't be able to, but it's harder to shine when you're being compared to Virgil van Dijk for Netherlands, let's say. So in terms of a pathway, I'm not saying which one is better. I'm saying there's one that could be easier to shine at. Malume Kuto made the argument, Tylen Smith. Tylen Smith didn't touch a football in the PSL. They win the AFCON, he's gone. Also, there's a cultural thing here. There's a cultural part to this, because have you noticed how it's the colored players, it's those white players at times, it's those guys that go overseas. And there's a cultural aspect which maybe we'll touch on another day about South African culture. Maybe we'll touch on another day. He's gone. So again, Mina, I don't believe that there is a right and a wrong, because I even made the argument for those. There was a video I released where I spoke about Unkota Mfukeng as to why Mfukeng might not leave Pirates and Kota can go. And I said, remember, Pirates is also a business and a brand. Pirates needs a relay. They need a lodge. They need those players that are going to be the faces of the thing. So it might be harder for you to come and fetch your relay. Whether it's good for relay or not, it's harder. It's not about playing, Sandiso. It's not about playing. It's about the environment. So there was one of the English players, I think it was Frank Lampard or somebody. He was like, at some of those clubs, because of how they run, the development that they do, what they focus on. At some of those clubs, if I take you right now and I say, go train with Chelsea for 2 months, you will come back to Chiefs and you'll be like, Nina. And you will have gotten better. It's not even necessarily about playing at that age. Sometimes it's just about the environment. Which again goes back to, can you get better here? Why can't we get better here? But anyway, Pirates still has a brand. Pirates still has all of those things. Pirates still has all of those things that they have to look out for. They can't afford to just let relay go. I understand that from a business perspective. Hugo Bruce has found a gem. He can't afford to not have that guy in his squad. A year ago, he wasn't thinking about that guy, but he's putting that guy in his squad, and I can't afford to not have that. Does it bypass the development of the player? Nah. You get me? This is what I'm talking about. And just to touch on the cultural part is lit. Because I interviewed Uchosta. And Uchosta was like, hey guys, there's love here. One of the love you guys are giving to Bogazi, there's love here. There's a good salary. Families here, friends are here. Ngene motweni, and I'm wherever I am. People are popping up on social media, whatever. What tends to happen to the ones who have been in the PSL and are stars in the PSL is that when you go that side, you start from scratch. That side, you're a foreigner. It's a different culture. It's a different language. It's a different this. It's different that. You're the plumber. You're the one who has to prove themselves to get into the club. And a lot of them fail because they've tasted the top here. They've tasted it. You can't tell me that Josta even made a weird example. He just said, guys, that side, well, where he was playing is like that side, agla groove. Now you want to go out, it's a street. He was laughing and he's like, here, I can get in a car in Joburg and drive to Pretoria now. Chisanyama, Sanjuren Chisanyama is an hour away from me. And they love me and they'll do everything. That's why sometimes the ones that feel stardom here don't translate that side. Meanwhile, Steven Pienaar never got the chance. Quinton Fortune never got the chance. Benny never really got the chance. Lucas made it. He said, Lucas, in the interview that Josta did with Lucas, he said, I was not the star. So when I got that side, I realized that I needed to work hard. Phil got that side and he was like, guys, mina ngimnandi kai. You guys are going to bench me. Eating ham. That's why Ngezana right now, not Romania right now, he's playing Europa games. Umnandi right now. But anyway, that's another conversation, guys. I've gone over. Thank you guys so much for joining me. The show is on every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 p.m. If you want to watch everything back, like if you joined just now, it's available full on YouTube. So please subscribe, follow, do all of those nice things and share, because these platforms don't exist. You don't see this on TV. So to have conversations amongst us about this, it's not necessarily about being right. I'm not here to be right or whatever, but at the very least, the conversation Gambogazi went from a small thing, and think of all the things we've touched on just tonight. So, and it wasn't even meant to be the main thing, but just for tonight. So these things are important, and you guys help us by following us, by sharing, by doing all that stuff. That's how we keep this going. So thank you guys so much for those who've supported. Thank you guys so much for everybody that commented, that gave gifts, that jumped into the panels, that called me a Kosi fan there. I'm joking. That was in there. That these are the conversations that we should have. But guys, thank you so much. I'll see you guys tomorrow watch along for, I think Chiefs is playing, and then also the Paris game later. But anyway, we'll be live for those games tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Bye guys.